Hi, Sean Callahan here for Couple Chevrolet, GMC, and Chevrolet. And GMC Truck Month is here. Absolutely huge discounts and 2.9% for 72 months. I also just wanted to share a little bit more about the Couple family. They've been serving the Omaha and Lincoln and surrounding communities for over 50 years with great customer service and small town charm. That's always been our motto, and we absolutely will not be undersold. It truly is confident buying and confident driving. So come on in, meet the team, check us out at Couple or at CoppleCars.com. All deals with approved credit.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere air seeder during Landmark Implement's early order program. Take your seeding performance to the next level with John Deere's advanced air seeding technology. Achieve precise seed and fertilizer placement. With innovative openers and section control, you can maximize efficiency and reduce input costs. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year during Landmark Implement's air seeder early order program. Contact your local Landmark location for details and experience the Landmark difference.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black Shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Hour 1 of Old School is sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome in. It is Old School on a beautiful Monday here in the capital city. Wow. Good to be back. It's weird to be back. But away we go. A huge thank you to everyone who filled in for me, Austin Norman, while I was gone last week. Truly, truly appreciated the time away. Got to have some fun memories made for me and my family. So a big thank you to everyone who made that trip possible here from the station's end of things. So, yep, Austin Norman, back with you. Love to hear from you, 402-464-5685. No Jay Foreman, so Eric, sorry to let you down. I guess we're good at that on this show. Says my man Jay Foreman, hope you rested up this weekend for another grueling 5-day work week. Well, yeah, not so fast, my friend. Already not a 5-day work week for one Jay Foreman. That's all right. We got the black shirt sitting in here for this first segment.
Yeah, Eric, I'm here, Eric. you know what, Eric? You're a traitor, man. You see how you get on
traitor.
Yeah, he's a traitor, man.
That's a big word to throw around.
I thought Eric was my best participant in the text line, and he always give me a compliment. But now I see he's a Jay Foreman fan. So hey, maybe Jay Foreman will be here 3 days this week for you, Eric, instead of 4 days.
I would say let's not count those chickens before they hatch. We'll have to see about that. Farley, appreciate you filling in here for this first segment. We'll talk with Brian Munson of Husker Online, some Husker football recruiting news in our next segment. And then DP will be along for the next couple hours of the show. Going to be kind of a catch-up show for me, not the condiment, the CATCH-UP catch-up variety. Thought I was going to be more connected to the world out there in Alaska. Turns out I was not, due to some factors beyond my control and others' control. So I heard some stuff through the grapevine, tried to do my best catching up yesterday once we ended up getting back. But let's catch up on.
No internet on boats?
Well, it was like $50 a day.
$50.
I'm like, I would love to be connected, but I'm not paying $50 a day for internet. I'm not doing it. And
$50
had very spotty cell service when we were on land as well. Some in the the Alaskan cities that we were in, but not a whole lot. Very little when we crossed the border.
What's your service is?
Well, it was Verizon.
Oh, okay. I'm with Metro PCS. I know it won't work over there. It's even spotty in Lincoln, so I know it wouldn't work way like there. So.
Yeah, so it was in and out. It was super slow when we did have it, and so I was not really able to keep up with a whole lot. Did a lot of catching up the last few days, and in those brief moments where I got internet, I was as plugged in as I could be, but that was not very much. Speaking of plugged in, though, Terrell, plugged right back into college football is Brendan Sorsby. And I know a lot of time has been spilled on this. I feel like we should mention it here at the top of the show. Not so much the way do you think about it. I think we're all, or the vast majority of us, are in agreement that, hey, not a good look for the NCAA here. Not that this is the NCAA's decision, but certainly not a good look for the local judge that made this ruling. Not a good look for the sport of college football, the Brendan Sorsby, with everything that's been proven so far to be true, being reinstated. That, to me, Terrell, I think is the first big thing to jump off on, is how easy it's become for college student athletes to jump around, to pick and choose the most favorable judge in their circuit to get the ruling they want. I don't blame them for it, but it's where I think college sports really needs to start petitioning Congress, right? Probably for just a limited kind of antitrust exemption. Like, hey, if they can just go court hopping to get the decision they like, it renders us powerless. We're not asking to go all the way back to the Stone Ages and not pay players or whatever. We'll work our way through that. But if we can't even ban players from our sport for gambling, like every other league can do, has been allowed to do, then what's the point? And so I get why these players, their agents and their advisors would say, oh, hey, if you're in Texas Tech, if you're in Lubbock, go to the Texas Tech grad. If you're in Alabama, you're Charles Bediako, go to the Alabama grad. If you're, Baylor, go to the Baylor grad to get James Najee eligible. If you're an LSU grad, well, just go to the governor. Or, if you're in LSU, want to play for them, just go to the governor, right? It seems like he has his hands on everything in that system down there as well. At some point, we have to draw the line. I'm not confident that this will be the event that rattles enough cages to make it happen, but it sure better be.
Well, now you got guys like Hunter Decker who's scratching his head when he was forced to leave Iowa State. Now you can talk about the other Iowa guy who got suspended when he got in trouble. But it's a head scratcher for everybody when you think about the way the NCAA has no control over this. That a judge can come in and step over the NCAA ruling, and it's all about. I guess if we was in another state, we would see something different. But when you're in good old Texas, that billionaire oil money don't stop nobody. So it's a sad day in college sports that a kid can spend well over close to $100,000 on gambling and still be able to play. It's sad that it has to come to this point. But when I said earlier that you can go 35 days and say you've been in rehab, that's a slap on the wrist rehab. When you go to a real treatment center, even for betting, that's called that's inpatient. So you don't get to leave, you don't get the phone calls, you don't get anything. So this was just a little 30-day vacation for him. He can try to prove that he was innocent. It makes him look like a little choir boy. Next thing you know, 60 Minutes come with a special probably later on in the week, and now everybody forgives Brandon Sorsby. I say throw the book at him. I say, hey, you did it.
Well, you only need to throw one rule at it.
Well, if you do the crime, you do the time. That's what basically this is, and this is false advertisement for the NCAA because they've been overstepped by this judge now.
And that's just the thing, is that it's one judge in one county. And there's some good information going around out there about what exactly this means. The one that I saw came from, I believe it was Michael McCann, is the guy's who does sports law for Sportico. The Brendan Sorsby ruling is not a final order. It's just an injunction. It governs one county in Texas. It doesn't require judges in other counties, let alone other states, to rule similarly in similar cases. It is significant, but it shouldn't be overstated in its legal impact. So not final, because I think, Terrell, the NCAA is obviously going to want to fight this. And we get a text here on our Sutter Human Jewelers text line, Gorilla Bear. At this point, what exactly does the NCAA do? well, hosts a lot of championships for all the sports outside of college football. And this to me is less on the NCAA. You can argue that the NCAA didn't handle it the best from the beginning, but the NCAA, I don't think, has handled the Brendan Sorsby thing wrong. The NCAA declared him ineligible. He went and appealed that decision in Lubbock County Court. Now the NCAA will get its own chance to appeal that injunction that got granted. So this to me isn't necessarily on the NCAA, this specifically. You can argue the bigger picture, the broader picture certainly falls on the NCAA's shoulders, but this is a little bit of a different issue here to me. And it's just such a slippery slope, I think, to get into in terms of, what defenses that Sorsby used. Was it for mental health? The judge's ruling, it would cause irreparable harm, and hurt his earning potential. You don't say. Maybe should have thought about that before he gambled. The complete and utter lack of consequences is striking, and I don't think is a system that anyone wants to live under. But Thomas and Lincoln, you got right to where we were going next. If you're an AD, would you want to cancel on or not play Texas Tech? The reason that's an interesting question is because, according to a Ross Dellinger article, at some Big 12 meetings, the ADs were talking about that. Here's from the Dellinger piece, the first 3 paragraphs. At a recent Big 12 administrative meeting, a fascinating discussion emerged. If a local Texas judge granted quarterback Brendan Sorsby's injunction to play this season despite wagering on his own team, the league's other member schools wondered something aloud. Should we play the Red Raiders? We've had some serious conversation about it, Kansas State Athletic Director Gene Taylor told Yahoo Sports. There is still a lot to be discussed. We aren't scheduled to play them this year, but it is something we have to look at from a college football perspective. This is greater than the Big 12. All right, Athletic Director Terrell Farley of Farley State University. Texas Tech's on your schedule. Brendan Sorsby got his injunction granted. Are you dropping Tech right away? Are you in wait-and-see mode to see if the injunction holds up? Are you still playing him because you need a 12th game? How are you handling this if you're an athletic director?
Well, first of all, I would probably try to see what the wait-and-see process is first. And then we have to go ahead and play the game. Like I said, you can't fault the kid for what a judge has done. I mean, you can't fault the whole Texas Tech organization, but you can. But we're at a crossroad with this. This is gonna take some time to dissect and see what the next move is gonna be. I mean, we can only talk for right now, but when the action really gets done, who's gonna be brave enough to do this? You know what? Who's gonna be the first team to step up and say, "Hey, we're not playing Texas Tech"? I mean, this is just he say, she say now because it's just a source. But once we get to the real nitty gritty of football and he's still able to play, which I think he shouldn't be, then we'll have to wait till we cross that road first.
If I was an athletic director, I'm at least putting that threat out there.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to just sight unseen drop Texas Tech. Now, some people might want to. They've been kind of a pain. They've been the ones that have really upset the apple cart in a lot of ways, with as much as they've paid for players, with Cody Campbell's very public stances on a lot of this stuff, with as much, renown and notoriety as they've gotten, despite being in the middle of nowhere there, in Lubbock. And I don't blame them for that. I give them a lot of credit for building, however you want to describe it, but certainly building, a football program, a good basketball program over the better part of the last decade. Baseball's had its own fair share of success on and on down the list. So I can understand, not liking Texas Tech is kind of the flavor of the month. I don't know if you just want to go and straight drop them. That to me almost makes it too easy on Texas Tech then to play the victim. Oh, it was one student athlete. Oh, you didn't have to drop all of us. Why didn't you want to play the game? You left us high and dry. I thought we were all in this together as a member of the conference and whatnot. Instead, I do think that leaving that out there, if he's eligible, we won't play you, goes even further. Because yes, Texas Tech was set to pay Brendan Sorsby, $4 million, give or take. Well, you know what is going to bring in a lot more than $4 million? 6 home games. At least 3 of them against conference opponents, 3 conference home games, and probably 2 or 3 non-conference home games. That's a lot of money they would be leaving out there on the table if they couldn't play, or if they had to go schedule games on short notice and bring in, teams probably of a lesser caliber that wouldn't boost their strength of schedule enough to get to the college football playoff. And so to me, Terrell, I think just straight dropping Texas Tech from the schedule lets them off too easy. Instead, I think if you leave the thread out there, he doesn't play or we drop the game, we don't come to Lubbock and you don't get any of that gate money, or that concessions money, any of those TV eyeballs, any of that stuff. That, to me, leaves the door open for Texas Tech to probably not do the right thing, but at least have the option to. Because I would hope they would see, oh, that's a lot of money we're leaving out there. Okay, Sorsby, we're not going to pay you all $4 million because of this, but we'll pay you $1 million. $1.5 million as the buyout. Sorry, we tried. It's not going to work, but we can't pass on, 6+ home games. And so for everyone else is good, you're going to have to bite the bullet on this one.
Well, here's the part that I would say that Texas Tech University want to save their face. I mean, when you talk about that, this scandal is going to be with their name all written all over it. So, they have to try to save the ethnic code or the code of honor at their school so that maybe they can. I don't know how they feel about this. I mean, we're just talking about the athletic department. And now as a school of a whole college, do they support it or are they on board with it? So that's two different factors when we talk about the educational part and then the football part. But this is gonna sting right here. This is just gonna be a slap in the face and really send a message to youngsters that they can do what they want to do in the NCAA. You already get great money, but we've never seen a case like this that happened before. I talked about Hunter Decker earlier. Maybe some people say he should get a lawyer and try to go back and do things. And like they said, I don't know how far this can go back, but I just know it leaves a sour taste in the NCAA mouth. And hopefully this next injunction they try to get can really put a piece of the puzzle together and try to close this thing out, because there's no way he should be able to play. I'm sorry, like I said earlier, if I had a teammate like that, I wouldn't even trust him anyway. So you got to think about some of the stuff these guys done read and does really a football player just who makes a lot of money deserve to be off, to get off easily like this just because you want to win a national title.
Yeah, so, that part. David Hale, writing for ESPN, tweets, everyone I've talked to who knows Brendan Sorsby speaks highly of him as a guy you'd want as the face of your program. I have friends who've gone down some dark holes from gambling too, and I know how easy it is. I'm sympathetic to all of it, but if the NCAA can't police gambling on your own school, we're done here. There's no chance any rules will ever matter if there's a friendly local judge or enough money at stake. I think that about hits the nail on the head. And I'll say this, Terrell, I would probably still trust Brendan Sorsby more than I would trust DeMond Williams. There's probably been some stuff written or stuff coming down the pipe about DeMond Williams and how that's going up at Washington after he tried to bolt for LSU for a boatload of money. Sorsby, you can say it was an innocent mistake. You can say, it was an addiction. You can say he was betting on his own team in whatever. He is a free agent, as a lot of quarterbacks are, but he didn't try to leave his team and then have to, tuck tail.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't love the face that he's presenting as the victim. I know he has to, in order to earn, some level of sympathy from the court. I get that's what he's being coached to do. It's what his advisors are telling him to do. He doesn't have another play, but I would still probably trust Brendan Sorsby as a teammate rather than DeMond Williams, at least right now with what we know. Maybe DeMond Williams has put in the work and maybe, he just say, yeah, you know what? My bad. I goofed. I shouldn't have done that. And he's back in good graces. Don't know either young man well enough to comment on that specifically necessarily, but I don't know how that locker room is going to respond to that. And I think for Texas Tech and the guys that are eligible, it leaves them in limbo. Let's get to our starter Heyman Jewelers text line here. Big Hoss says, if teams refuse to play Texas Tech with this ruling, then Tech can't win games. Therefore, they can't make it to the championship, and that would force their hand to kick him out. 2577, absolutely, they should say they won't play. They should hold each other accountable. Let Tech know if they're going to roster Sorsby, then they won't play the game. Put it all on Tech to decide if they keep the game. You would hope Texas Tech has some ethical principles and won't roster him. What I think is more likely is that Texas Tech just fills its schedule with a bunch of cupcakes. That's what I think would happen. I think they would go full SEC Week 12 and say, you know what? Come one, come all. We'll go to a couple of you, but the vast majority of you are coming here. We'll go Oregon State baseball. We'll do a barnstorming tour if that's what it takes. Will it be a tough strength of schedule? Probably not. Would it get them into college football playoff consideration? Probably not. But if it's so worth it to Texas Tech to keep Brendan Sorsby, it's going to be worth it to them to schedule some of these games. Whether or not they're on TV, who cares where they play? But that's why I think, Terrell, that's so unlikely. And why I think these Big 12 athletic directors have to say, you're not getting your share of your TV eyeballs. You're not getting gate revenue from us if Sorsby is on the roster. And so if I'm Texas Tech, if I'm Kirby Hocutt, the athletic director, if I'm Lawrence Chovanec, the president who's been there for a while, I'm saying, hey, Joey McGuire, it's time to cut bait. You gave it a look. It didn't work. To your point, Terrell, this is a bad look. We would rather spend $1.5 million to get this monkey off our back and say, hey, go earn your money that we pay you to coach a good football team. Go coach the Big 12 schedule and make the most out of this team. Yeah, it sucks, but that's the world we live in. Rather than continuing to go through with the black eye, to go through with the court cases, to go through with the hemming and the hawing, I just pay him like $1.5 million, not half of what he was going to get or whatever, enough money to go away and get to the supplemental draft.
Yeah, this is going to be an hour by hour thing for us to see how this goes. This is going to be an ongoing story for at least another couple of days, man. I mean, we have to find out what's the real details of this. We already know the details on Sorsby's side, but more coming from the Big 12 and their ADs and how they're talking about, to them, he's ineligible. So to Texas A&M, he's invisible, like he got to play. So, their season depends on it. Their chances to get to the CFP hangs on Brandon Sorsby. So they're going to fight for him to nail it to the end. So this is going to be a battle to the end. We got to see how this goes, and I'm just going to be along for the ride.
Big Hoss asks, could the NCAA come back and say that if the teams are cupcake teams that Texas Tech would play, they can't be eligible for the playoffs in the national championship? There's already a rule that you can only count one game against an FCS team to count in terms of bowl eligibility. So you can play 11 FBS teams and count one win against an FCS team. And I don't think Texas Tech would go down quite that far. I think if you're Texas Tech, what you're looking to do is buy out some Sun Belt teams, right? Buy out some MAC teams, buy out some Mountain West teams, that sort of thing, and piece your way through 9 of those games. Would it work? I don't know. But I would guess that for the price of a bye game, it would add up pretty quickly to add 9 more of those. But at least you would get a home gate, for a few of those at the very least. Thomas and Lincoln, I think fans would show up to enough games if Texas Tech did that because they're still in the playoff hunt, because they would be still eligible for it. If you're playing all FCS teams, no, probably not. But I would guess for at least the first half of the year, there would be enough intrigue to pop in and see the team. So I don't think Texas Tech would do no season and say, oh, sorry, our quarterback's ineligible, we're not playing. I think that's a step too far. I don't think they would dip all the way down to the FCS ranks for, 9 more games. I think they would try to flex some of that money, and say, hey, Sunbelt teams are open for business. Come on in. We'll write you a nice $1 million check for your troubles. Come play and try to get a schedule that way, Terrell.
Yeah. That is just a no-go for me. I just can't be on board with this. Either way it goes, football gonna have to be played. I think Texas Tech wants the easy way with Brandon Sorsby. They're not gonna blink an eye for this. They're gonna just say, hey, he's a kid, new rules, new football. He should be able to play. We should be able to get this kid some help and not ruin his life just because he made some bets. He's gonna be the poster child now for not to gamble in college football or any other sport. But we see a trend of this keep happening and keep happening and keep happening. Maybe this slap on the wrist will just encourage more kids to do what he did and get caught and yell wolf.
So 2 more texts to get to here really quick, and then we will get to Brian Munson of Husker Online for a recruiting update. Gorilla Bear says, I wasn't necessarily blaming the NCAA, just asking that if players and teams can just go around them at this point, what are they there for? The answer is nothing, which is where that limited antitrust deal comes in. And Tom Fornelli, writing for CBS Sports, says that's the advantage professional sports leagues have in moments like this. Their rules aren't always perfect and their punishments aren't always universally applauded, but their authority is clearer. Their gambling policies exist within collectively bargained systems. contracts, arbitration procedures, and league disciplinary structures that give them a stronger foundation than the NCAA currently has. All right, so that should answer some of that. We'll get to this then from D-Man. Maybe someone said this already, but won't the NCAA just ban them from the postseason? Does the NCAA have the power to do that? Could Texas Tech go around the NCAA just like Brendan Sorsby did to get this injunction? Again, not final, but for now he's eligible. And so because of that, I have a hard time thinking the NCAA would be able to do that. And then if the NCAA tells its bowl sponsors, hey, we don't want you to pick Texas Tech, but the bowl sponsor does it anyways, because the NCAA have the power to say, no, you can't pick them. Does Texas Tech have to abide by that? Could they sue the NCAA for that? You're starting to see the slippery slope of the world that we're in right now. Justin from Hickman says, glad to have you back. Thank you, Justin. But if Nebraska's going to get 5 commits every time you go on vacation, then please feel free to take some more. Well, Justin, you will have to take that up with my coworkers and my bosses here at the Ticket. I like being back. I'm enjoying being back. It's off to a great start here on Old School. We are going to talk some recruiting, though. Who are those 5 commits that Justin mentioned? We'll get the lowdown, the inside scoop from Brian Munson of Husker Online. This is Old School Show brought to you by Graham Tire Company. They've been proudly serving the Midwest for 75 years. More than just tires, they do all kinds of car and light truck repairs, too. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter most. A tip of the cap to the black shirt, Terrell Farley. Brian Munson joins us next.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Asset Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Asset Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Planet Fitness has everything you need from warm-up to wind-down, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to bring a friend anytime, access any of our 2,800-plus clubs, or reset and recover in the Black Card Spa, we're ready to fuel your momentum, and then some. Enjoy all the perks with the Planet Fitness Black Card. Join the club today for $1 down, $24.99 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends June 12th.
See club for details.
I am Harrison Arns, producer of Ticket Weeknights and Weekends right here at 93.7 The Ticket. My favorite things to do in downtown Lincoln are checking out all the local sports events, whether it's basketball, football, volleyball, or even Lincoln Stars hockey. I enjoy it all because I get to experience one of the best sports communities in the country.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a slight chance of showers and storms this afternoon. Otherwise, we'll see partly sunny skies and light winds with a high near 89. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, low around 70. And tomorrow, we'll see partly sunny skies, be hot, and afternoon high near 96. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild's Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Couple Chevrolet, GMC, and Chevrolet. And GMC Truck Month is here. Absolutely huge discounts and 2.9% for 72 months. I also just wanted to share a little bit more about the Couple family. They've been serving the Omaha and Lincoln and surrounding communities for over 50 years with great customer service and small town charm. That's always been our motto, and we absolutely will not be undersold. It truly is confident buying and confident driving. So come on in, meet the team, check us out at Couple or at CoppleCars.com. All deals with approved credit.
Hey, Nebraska sports fans. This summer, professional tennis returns to Lincoln. Watch rising stars of the ATP Tour compete for over $100,000 in prize money for the 2026 Lincoln Challenger from July 12th to the 19th at the Sid and Hazel Dillon Tennis Center. Witness top tennis pros compete right here in Lincoln and experience tennis close up like never before. To purchase tickets or to sign up for volunteer opportunities, please visit www.lincolnchallenger.com. Not just a stop, a stage. Lincoln Challenger 2026.
Where there's smoke, there's flavor, and there's plenty of it at the Smokehouse at Super Savor and Russ's Market. Award-winning old world recipes made in Lincoln since 1984 with many flavors of smoked sausage and brats to choose from. The Smokehouse has something special for every season: brats and sausages for the grill, beef sticks and beef jerky for snacking, and smoked salmon, smoked turkey, or smoked hams for your holiday feast. Stop by the Smokehouse at Super Savor and Russ's Market today to fulfill your search for real flavor.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is Old School, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Austin Orman with you here as we head to our Allo Fiber VIP line, where we're joined by Brian Munson of Husker Online. Brian, it's been far too long. How's it going, my friend?
I'm doing well. I don't know if we really have anything to talk about today, though. I mean, it was such a crazy weekend.
We'll try to muddle through it and see if we can get creative. I was told from one of our listeners that I need to go on vacation more if Nebraska is going to land 5 commits every weekend. But I was thinking of you, Brian. I said, no, we don't want Brian Munson to be even more overworked than he already is keeping up with this stuff. For Brian Munson's sake, I got to stay in Lincoln a little bit.
I tell you what, this is funny. Like, I was literally doing work from a bag chair at a Texas Tech football camp for my son, because I had gotten up that morning and I was like, oh, what a terrific summary. I need to write that up. So I wrote the summary and I go, oh boy, what if this guy commits? Oh boy, what if this guy commits? And I just started writing stuff. And I was like, I realized I didn't have all the guys kind of in that bucket pre-written. And I literally was typing one up when he literally popped at the Texas Tech indoor facility. So I like you. I think we both need to kind of go on trips a little bit more, maybe simultaneously, and they'll bring some good fortune on the Nebraska coaching staff.
Well, Brian, my trip was over to Alaska, and a couple weeks ago it was pretty snowy and pretty cold. But last week when we went, we were in the middle of an Alaska heat wave. Do you care to guess what qualifies as a heat wave for Skagway, Alaska?
I'm going to say 52 degrees.
Luckily, a little higher than that. It was 74 degrees in Skagway, Alaska. It was a heat wave. We walked off the plane in Omaha, got outside. It was 74 degrees, and I forgot about the humidity. Yeah, we were out there on the ocean on a boat and everything, but holy cow, this Midwest heat hit different. I'm not even down where you're at in Texas.
Oh, it was 74 when I woke up at 7:30 in the morning on Saturday in Lubbock. So... And it was like 85% humidity because it had rained all night and all morning. So the sun's up, baking that land, and that water, they don't have storm drains in Lubbock. The water just runs off to low-lying areas, and it just stands there until it seeps in or evaporates. And that's literally their drainage system. So pretty wild, and it does add to the humidity.
And, of course, that campus is probably the biggest news happening at Texas Tech right now, right?
Yeah, there was nothing else going on. There was nothing else going on around town at all. Yes, there was obviously some very, that was before the news of Sorsby, we were there all afternoon on Saturday, and then we were at TCU that night. So yeah, pretty wild time to be around the Lubbock campus.
We will leave that alive and get back to the Nebraska football recruiting stuff. 5 commits over the weekend. Let's go ahead and start with the flip, Brian. Nebraska gets one from a former Big Ten West foe and a constant thorn in the side in Minnesota. Huskers get Maato Moe to flip from Minnesota. Tell us about the player and what went into flipping him, if you wouldn't mind.
You put on his film, and this is a guy that really understands, what it means to get extension and hand placement. You can watch a couple times, like where he's really attacking the outside shoulder of that tackle, putting as much distance between he and the offensive lineman. He's got great athleticism. He's very explosive. I don't think that his ranking does him any justice. He might be a little bit of a project, just because where he's coming from may not be like the best of competition or whatever, but maybe it's just because you got to do like the amount of like the jump up to Big Ten football. But I really like his film. I think I gave kudos to Nebraska staff for the evaluation they did on him, because I think in a ranking type of manner, to let it just kind of lead you to where the top targets are at in the country, it wouldn't have brought you to Provo, Utah. But Nebraska went out there and did the due diligence, and I think they really got to go in. And to your point, they get a chance to, push one back on PJ Fleck a little bit. So I think that's obviously something Nebraska fans are smiling about.
In Husker Online's write-up, I think it was you that wrote about the versatility as well, a guy that can stand up, have his hand in the dirt. Does Nebraska plan to use him like that, or do they have a specific role for him in mind?
That edge position, I think, is going to depend. I think it's going to depend somewhat on who you're facing, number one. And then I think it's also going to matter, like, what your personal preference is. I think the personal preference is going to really help Nebraska kind of understand, is he better doing it this way? Like, are we really looking for that this week? When it talks about a field side defensive end. So I think I could see him moving between both. I think it's going to matter just based on situational. I think it's going to matter on down and distance. I think it's going to matter on the opponent.
Fair enough. Also on the defensive line, Nebraska dipped down into Florida. Errol de Montagnac commits to Nebraska over a couple of ACC schools. Big body there on the defensive line. Second guy in the class on defense in time of the commitment, right, Brian?
Yes, he was. And I tell you what, I really like him. I think he does get overlooked as well, because first of all, he doesn't have huddle. He's got some different, player that you have to go into on his Twitter and watch him a little bit. So if you're just out there scouting huddle, you're not going to find this guy. So you got to go looking for him a little bit. So once you kind of find him, then you can kind of start to go ahead and start breaking him down a little bit. But he is incredibly quick off the football. So at 6'3", 270, he gets upfield. He gets parallel to the line of scrimmage. He gets his feet into the gap. I always kind of refer to it as gets his body on that surfboard. It's kind of this way of kind of just getting your feet upfield. And then he's incredibly disruptive. He makes a lot of plays on the other side of the line of scrimmage, which I think Nebraska fans are going to be very excited about. I think Coach Ulrich is very excited about, because a lot of that disruptiveness, comes from, I think, a lot of different twisting and various ways of attacking single gap when it comes to that defense. I think there's just so many things that you can kind of see Errol kind of being involved with, because I think he can play, he obviously can play a 3, but I think he can slide out, play a 4, play a 4-eye. Is he a little bit more of a stretch out to a 5? I'd say yes. But I think he's also a guy that you could start out at a 5, and then you can twist outside in, and you can do some different things like to cause some chaos, when it comes to the offensive line and these guys moving all over the place. And if you watch a lot of San Diego State film, you will see that. You will see a lot of stuff where guys end up lined up over the nose, and then all of a sudden he trunks all the way out to like a 7 or even a 9, and he's got like outside contain. Like, there's just some really interesting things that they do with their defensive front, and I think because of that athleticism, because of the versatility, it really helps him out when it comes to what Nebraska wants to do defensively.
You mentioned the San Diego State defensive line, not exactly the biggest, right? Coach Orts made it worse with some good play calling with the twists and stunts, like you mentioned. Does De Montagnac fit the physical profile that Nebraska is looking for to compete in the Big Ten, or is it going to be another guy that is a good fit for what Orts wants to do, so you think it'll work because he's athletic enough to get by?
I think he's a prototypical 3 technique. I mean, 6'3", 270 coming out of high school. I would consider that to be, really what you're looking for, at a 3 technique. When you start sliding down and you're sitting at a 1, you can be 6'3", you can be 6'1", you can be 6'5", but you're going to be, 310, 315 pounds. You're a little bit bigger. You're a space eater. You're taking on typically 2 blocks. You're just going to kind of go to work in that A gap and just kind of make people, take up some blockers and keep them off the linebackers. But I mean, I think from a prototypical way of kind of looking at him and just, I played 3 technique also in college. I was 6'3", 268 when I was doing it. So he's pretty much right there when it comes to being college ready.
The other guy that Nebraska landed from Florida, certainly a name that Husker fans have been on for a while. Bryce Williams, no, not the basketball player, but the defensive back. Really versatile piece that Nebraska landed over a host of top suitors. What did Nebraska like so much about Bryce Williams, the cornerback, Brian?
I think that what you get here is a guy that has got all the physical attributes that you want in a cornerback. Number one, he's got great length. He has good size. He's a physical guy. But then you combine this great speed, and he has this kind of closing speed that, you don't always have. And it's been kind of missing, I think, over the past years in Nebraska's secondary, from just having that kind of, that team speed and having it just kind of, really manifest itself and really be part of the Nebraska secondary, like it really shines. I think that he has such an unusual way of baiting quarterbacks into kind of showing soft coverage and then using that closing speed to kind of go back out there then and make plays on the football. And I think he has ways of picking on guys that whether it's quarterback or the wide receivers or whatever. But I think in order to do that, you have to have 2 things. Number one, you have to have great physical skills. You have to have obviously that closing speed that I mentioned before. But I think number 2, the other side is you have to be a student of the game. You have to understand when and where those types of situations could come into play and what you could do to entice it or induce it. And I think that that's where I give him like a huge credit for just being able to not just say, I can go out here and act like I'm playing sloppy and then able to kind of fix it like in a moment's notice, as opposed to, this is a situation where I've seen it before on film, down in distance with the personnel on the field, where they will go ahead and run something like that. And if they do, I will be ready for it, and I'll show them this one way one time, and the next time I'll show it a different way, and I will get them to go ahead and throw that football that second time, and I'll pick it off. I think that that's what really separates him, is that he has both the mental aptitude, the intelligence, as well as the physical gifts to play cornerback.
Just a few minutes left with Brian Munson of Husker Online with us on our Aloe Fiber VIP line. Right next door to Florida, then in Georgia, Nebraska double dips down there. Tight end Joey Hunter and linebacker Eli Harris. First and foremost, what does Nebraska like about those guys, Brian?
I think Joey's got a great frame. 6'6", 250, 255-ish. Didn't have like massive stats, but I think when you start talking about like what Nebraska wants to do, I think you still kind of divide that tight end room like with the true tights and the hybrids. And I would really treat Joey more as a true tight. I think he's a guy that can block. He still has some work to do there, but he was effective in the short game. Like he would run the screens, he'd run the short underneath, he would run the intermediates, he runs a great seam route. He's got soft hands. I think he's got so much potential. He just has to get to Nebraska and really develop it. But like Eli Harris is going to get overlooked because people are going to look at him on paper and say, oh, he's 6 foot. He's about 200 pounds. What can he do as a linebacker? And then you put on the film for Grayson High School, and he's shedding guards, trying to get pressure on the quarterback, and he's making a ton of plays on the other side of the football. He can drop off into space. He can make interceptions. He's really kind of a sneaky guy that when it comes to playing at that second level that I think Nebraska, really kind of needs, when it comes to just adding another guy to the room that can kind of pin his ears back and go back and get the quarterback. I don't think he's I don't think he's a guy that can play like that nickel linebacker spot necessarily, but I think he's really more of like an inside guy that could also then play something like when you go more base 4-3 and you are going to run like a true will linebacker out there. I think he could run the will side as well. I think he could really do something there where he could, you just tell him to go ahead and get after something. I think that's where he does his best. But I think also being undersized, I think people would think that he would be exposed there in the run game, and he's actually really good against the run. I thought he was a very good tackler, and he's obviously playing a very good competition level down there in Georgia at Grayson High School.
This staff and the previous one, I'm not sure before that, but at least the last two staffs seem to have been pretty active in Georgia. What's led to that? Who have been kind of the lead guys for Nebraska in recruiting Georgia?
It's gone all over the place. I mean, like, I know Dickie Shorts have been down there quite a bit. Addison Williams have been down there a lot. You know, it's been a mishmash. It's not really been like one guy that, you know, you're kind of peeling out and saying like, hey, you know, Coach Simpson's got Florida, leave him alone to Florida. Georgia's been a combined effort, and I think it's because you don't have that guy that has just like the ties to it. But I think Addison Williams is very dialed in down there with the right people. I think that really helps out with kind of setting, you know, up a bigger plan on how to kind of attack some things and look at some guys. And I think now that you have Coach Wade, I think that paid off huge dividends, obviously, as well with the 3 offensive line commitments they got from Georgia. So it's going to be very interesting to kind of see, you know, after Jeep Wade knew who those guys were coming from Georgia Tech, what can he do now? Like when the slate is clean and you don't really have like that camp opportunity or to go down there and see those guys like what you might have been able to do like with Georgia Tech. Like, how can you do that now and be effective at Nebraska? So that's, I think, the next kind of difficult thing for Coach Wade to have to do. But I imagine that once you kind of have like those pipelines built and you have those relationships there in place, it will still start to take care of itself. It's just going to take a little bit of a time and a little bit of an adjustment.
Last thing for you then, Brian, Trey Taylor wins MVP of Elite 11. Cool for him. What does that mean for him and for Nebraska?
Well, I mean, I think what's really cool about it is that I think a lot of people are now coming around to the line of thinking that he's a really good quarterback, and that's something Nebraska knew almost 2 years ago. I think that's the part that gets unrecognized here is the fact that Matt Rule and his coaching staff went out and saw this tremendous potential and talent in a guy that was 16 years old, you know, probably 30 pounds less than what he is right now, you know, and didn't have that wonderful sophomore season, but he had this excellent junior year, obviously, I mean, with what he did there a season ago. And then he just saw his body just kind of take off over the last year and a half. So I give a lot of credit to Nebraska. I don't think that people were going to say that he was untalented 2 years ago. I think the fact that Nebraska just moved all their chips over to him and said, you're our guy, I think it says a lot about their evaluation skills at quarterback.
Fair enough. A lot there for Nebraska to hang its hat on. A fantastic weekend. And I'm not going on vacation again for a long time, Brian. So hopefully you're able to catch back up and we can slow this down to a recruit or two every weekend instead of 5 here.
I'm off to Texas State tomorrow for another football camp. Sam Houston State on Sunday, and then North Texas next week. So
stay
we're
tuned,
wrapping
people.
up, but I got a couple weeks of stuff to do things.
That's great, Brian. Safe travels. Enjoy your time around, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Be good, man. See ya.
Brian Munson of Husker Online with us on our Allo Fiber VIP line. Allo Fiber is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We'll be back to wrap up hour one, set the stage for some fun conversations with me and DP from 4 to 6 p.m. here on Old School right after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Jordy Ball for Anderson Ford. For years, Anderson has relied on an exceptional customer experience. But just this once, they're going to rely on a really great pitch.
Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $199 per month for 36 months.
Experience better at Anderson Ford.
Stock number 1008721. Previous service loaner, $199 per month, lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 10650 to assignee, no security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 7626.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere air seeder during Landmark Implement's Early Order Program. Take your seeding performance to the next level with John Deere's advanced air seeding technology. Achieve precise seed and fertilizer placement. With innovative openers and section control, you can maximize efficiency and reduce input costs. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year during Landmark Implement's Air Seeder Early Order Program. Contact your local Landmark location for details and experience the Landmark difference.
Is your technology built for where you are or for where you're going? Can your current technology support future growth? To break through that invisible ceiling, you need executive-level strategic technology advising. Moser can help your business grow appropriately and efficiently, giving you the ability to turn your tech stack from a cost center into a growth engine. Visit moserit.com/theticket. That's moserit.com/THETICKET to learn more.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SauterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Planet Fitness has everything you need from warm up to wind down, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to bring a friend anytime, access any of our 2,800 plus clubs, or reset and recover in the Black Card Spa, we're ready to fuel your momentum and then some. Enjoy all the perks with the Planet Fitness Black Card. Join the club today for $1 down, $24.99 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends June 12th.
See club for details.
Looking for the ultimate game day spot? Arbor Axe House has everything you need. Axe throwing, cold beers, and the big game. Whether you're celebrating a win or talking trash with friends, nothing beats the rush of sticking an axe while cheering on your favorite team. Perfect for bullseye beginners and seasoned pros. Our axe throwing experts keep the fun going and the drinks flowing. Step up to the plate at Arbor Axe House. Book a lane at arboraxe.com or call 402-802-9696. Arbor Axe House on the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for their members. Whether it's a range session to get accurate club distances, 18 holes with some buddies, or a one-on-one lesson with Back Nine's PGA teaching professional, their top-of-the-line full swing simulators are there to help you lower your score in perfect conditions. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, the premier indoor golf experience.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A big thank you to Brian Munson of Husker Online for joining us on our Aloe Fiber VIP line moments ago to talk recruiting. Austin Orman here with you. DP will be along for the next 2 hours of the show momentarily. Hour one of the show brought to you, as always, by the good folks at Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based down in Hallam, Nebraska. They offer a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. You can give Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today for more info at 402-430-3852. You can also visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. I mentioned there at the end of the segment with Brian, Trey Taylor named MVP of the Elite 11 2026 edition. For $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings, our good friends at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O, as well as 40th and Old Cheney. For $30 down there, I want to know, Sartor Hammond Jewelers text line, who was the first Elite 11 MVP? Who was the first Elite 11 MVP? First camp was held in 1999. We'll run through the list of the names of the winners and saving the first one until you guys get it correct on our Sartor Hammond Jewelers text line. Your second MVP, Brody Croyle. Not bad. Okay. Ben Olsen, BYU and UCLA. First time I heard of him. Kyle Wright went undrafted, played with the Vikings and the Niners, was your Gatorade Player of the Year in 2003, won in 2002. 2003 was Mark Sanchez. All right, that one makes some sense. Matthew Stafford the very next year. Okay, yep, here with that one. John Brantley from Florida did win a title with the Gators, but didn't really play at all. Blaine Gabbert was the Elite 11 MVP in 2007. How about Aaron Murray in 2008? Jake Heaps from BYU, Kansas, and Miami in 2009. 2010, Jeff Driscoll. Yes, that Jeff Driscoll, Florida and Louisiana Tech product, 6th round draft pick, won it in 2010. 2011, Asante Woolard. First time I've heard that young man's name as well. Sean White from, or ultimately an Auburn commit, won in 2013. 2014, it was Blake Barnett. Went to Alabama, Arizona State, and South Florida in FBS. Shea Patterson won it in 2015, 2016. How about this? Tua Tagovailoa. In 2017, it was Justin Fields. 2018, Spencer Rattler. 2019, it was the replacement. CJ Stroud replaces DJ Uiagalelei as a participant in Elite 11 and comes off the bench to end up winning Elite 11 MVP in 2019. 2020, it was Caleb Williams. 2021, Cade Klubnik. 2022, Jackson Arnold. 23, Julian Sayin. 24, Keelan Russell, who's at Alabama right now. And in 2025, last year's winner, Dia Bell, who is committed to Texas. Mixed bag in terms of the winners, but especially recently, a lot of those names have been notable and have gone on to some pretty big, pretty cool accomplishments in college. So good company for Nebraska commit Trey Taylor to hold. First correct answer on the text line goes to Westy. All right, Westy, you're right. The answer, the first Elite 11 MVP winner, Brock Berlin. Brock Berlin, who started his college career at Florida, then went to Miami, went undrafted before playing for the Dolphins, the Cowboys, the Rams, and the Lions. He was the 1999 USA Today National Offensive Player of the Year in high school, also the 2000 Gatorade National Player of the Year as a senior, and Elite 11 MVP on top of that. So Westy, $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings is yours. Stop by the station here soon to pick that up. We'll go to break. DP's with me, going to catch me up on everything I missed in Huskerland. We'll talk some baseball, talk some softball. Husker men's basketball opens up some summer workouts today, so we'll get into that coming up at 5 o'clock. That and more. Your thoughts always appreciated. 402-464-5685. If it's on your mind, we want to talk about it. We'll do that next on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
New from Arbor Axe House comes Benny's Battle Barge, the mobile axe throwing adventure. Perfect for festivals, parties, fundraisers, and celebrations. Charter the barge at arbораxe.com or call Arbor Axe House at 402-802-9696. Arbor Axe House at the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
93.7 The Ticket is Lincoln's home for Kansas City Royals baseball in 2026. Catch all the action as Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and a pitching rotation led by Cole Reagans try to lead the Royals back to the postseason. That's Kansas City Royals baseball all summer long. On the air in Lincoln at 93.7 The Ticket.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SauterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score. Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is Old School, rolling right along into hour 2 of the show. Austin Orman here. DP over there on your right. If you're watching on our streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961 up and running for you. Speaking of off and rolling, make sure you're rolling smoothly on the road with Graham Tire Company, proudly serving the Midwest for more than 75 years. More than just tires, Graham Tire does all kinds of car and light truck repairs too, from brakes to oil changes. Trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter most. DP, hello.
Kind sir, welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
How was the trip?
It was great. It was good.
What'd you learn?
I learned a lot, actually. I learned that I am bad luck when it comes to whale spotting. I learned that I guess I brought some Nebraska warmth up to Alaska.
Fair.
I knew, but I relearned what it's like to travel with other people more than just myself. Because the better part of the last year has been spent with individual travel, not group travel.
Man,
it's a different world, DP. It's a different world.
That is absolutely a thing. That getting used to traveling in a group is a part of why I don't coach at a higher level, because you're constantly traveling with a group of people that all the moods, all the attitudes, all the problems.
And to be fair, I have no issues with anyone in our travel group.
Yeah.
It was family. I love them. We got along fine. We managed. There weren't any issues, no real blow-ups or anything, aside from a toddler being a toddler every so often, 2-year-old being a 2-year-old. But hey, what do you expect? I will say, I bought this hat, obviously, up there in Alaska. Mm-hmm. Nice and on clearance. Okay, yeah. That's how we roll.
Yep.
And it said The Last Frontier. And my thought was, are they ripping off Star Trek? But no, space is the final. I was so close. I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds familiar. Not quite the same. The last frontier is Alaska. Space is the final frontier.
Yes. And in full for those that, especially those summer trips to Alaska, which are different than fall. Those are different. And so you get to enjoy that part of it. Better access.
Did you hear me telling Brian we were in the Alaskan heat wave of 74 degrees?
Hey, man. Listen, it's a real thing to watch nature transition.
Man.
At its loudest point.
Mm-hmm.
To watch the tundra become not the tundra, and then watching the animals, all the animals that you do not get to see in Midwest America. It's a pretty cool trip.
Like whales, I don't get to see whales in Midwest America. I also don't get to see them in Alaska.
Apparently, they don't like you.
My dad was sitting out watching them. I had the kids, so I didn't get to see that batch. We went up for breakfast. He said, "Oh, we just saw one 2 minutes ago." I sit there for 10 minutes while everyone else gets their food. Not a spout to be seen. I walk away and they say, "Oh, we actually saw 4 or 5 while you were gone." They were right there. And they had pictures to prove it. Like, what's a guy supposed to do?
I fully accept that if you're going on a thing to see a thing, you really have to sacrifice. Like it requires some work,
I guess.
But here's the thing. For those that saw it, forever changed.
Mm-hmm.
Because your humanity based on whales, you just go, yeah, that's pretty cool. It's just different.
Mm-hmm.
Different movement, different sounds.
Oh yeah.
The sound of a whale. And then multiple whales as they're communicating. Haunting is probably the right way to look at it. And then you realize, okay, I'm mortal because that thing, we're surviving because that thing allowed it.
Because that thing has to stay where it has to stay.
That thing better stay over there and be what it's going to be. Because if it comes over here, we got nothing.
Issues.
We got
problems.
We got it. So it for those that do it, and it's way more expensive now than it was 20 years ago when I was doing it, and it was with a basketball player, so everything was a little more interesting. There was a basketball tournament in Alaska, and we took the team up, and then we did the tour, and it just mind blowing. We knew we weren't going to win because we were too awestruck by
the Alaskan assassin Trajan Langdon,
by everything we saw, and the change in diet required. What did you eat?
A little bit of everything.
Yeah,
as much as I could. It's all paid for. So you know what? I'm going to take advantage of it.
Yeah,
so.
Seafood has a different meaning.
It does. Yes, it does. We went to a little cooking show and demonstration with the head chef and the cruise director and a sous chef, and they were talking about just the pure volume of food that they have to load onto each and every one of these ships that's gone for a week. My stomach hurt just thinking about that much, like 150 tons of food.
And Alaska has a different smell.
It does. It does.
How would you describe it?
I think the only way to describe it is Alaska.
Yeah,
it's just you know it. Once you're
it's
so that's what
clean
this smells
and
like.
metal and clean. Like you just feel like, okay, there's a smell that's close to metal. I want to say sulfur-ish,
maybe,
right?
Yeah,
But
because we hit the ocean, got a lot of that.
Yeah,
didn't get a lot of the fish smell. That was Seattle, where we launched from. I think clean's a good way to describe it. You had the dirty railroad town that we were in for the better part of a day, and it's not dirty; it's cleaned up now. But back in the day, it was this town has such a bad reputation, it's so dirty. There's dust everywhere. And you just kind of tell that, this looks and kind of still feels like that cute little railroad town that had to pluck on by.
Can I ask you if you were calmer during the day and morning rather than day and night? The nighttime spooked me all the way out. It just.
I don't get bothered by big boats. I get bothered by little boats.
Yeah.
Anything less than about a yacht, and I'm kind of clinging to the sides, but big boats I generally try now. Titanic notwithstanding, obviously, there's that famous example.
Yeah,
but I wasn't ever really freaked out by waves or sounds or boat rocking or any of that. That doesn't bother me. I'd say I was probably more relaxed during the day just because we had more hands with the little ones.
And a different
but at night,
kind of
when there's
darkness.
a screaming 6-year-old and a 2.5-year-old doesn't want to go to bed,
right?
That's its own different world, but it was fine.
A different kind of darkness.
Yeah.
And sounds in darkness.
Yes.
Sounds in total darkness. Like sounds that you can't identify and go, oh, I know where that was.
Right.
No, it was, what was that? And I can't
Excuse
see it. And I can't see it, but it sounded really big.
Just constantly playing in the background.
Oh, man. Yeah, all the time.
So, no, thank you to everyone here at the station that made the trip possible, the great people on the cruise, the family that was there with us. Had a great time. It is great to be back. Unfortunately, I was not able to watch much of baseball and softball. Did end up tracking those results as best I could. But, DP, now with a little less than about a week or so to digest softball and baseball, where do you land with the pair of 1 and 2 showings in the College World Series and the Lincoln Regional?
So all of the regionals and super regionals worked for me. They were everything that they were supposed to be. That the top seeds had to show up. That there was also really good teams in each bracket. There's depth. I mean, you watch the number ones that went down in the regional, and then how many more went down in the super regionals, and that now it looks like a College World Series that if you had placed those 8 names in a hat in March, no,
maybe 2 or 3 of them, maybe.
That first of all, it's to say that nobody from last year's World Series is returning.
Yeah, I mean the only returner from the last 3 series is Carolina.
Right.
Otherwise, it's been 23 new teams, 22 new teams.
That wasn't going to happen. It was really hard to process. The teams that we're familiar with here in the Big Ten and how that turned out, it was like, oh boy, like that's gonna be conversation for the next 7 months is what happened with Big Ten baseball.
Yeah.
Big Ten softball. It showed up and it was exactly what you thought it was. But you're just taking too much shrapnel. Like you're taking too many loose bullets to get through clean. And the SEC is just, it's timing, it's matchups.
Yeah.
You can't predict it. I love how Nebraska played when it came to softball, baseball. They were scrappy. They fought to the end. Just you're playing top 48 baseball and softball. It becomes competitive and tough.
Yeah.
And it's not supposed to be easy. So it wasn't, and it went the way it went.
It sure did. I think let's start with baseball. They kind of died how they lived, being scrappy, being competitive, did what they needed to do against South Dakota State, by all accounts, winning that one 4-1. Ty Horn gave him a pretty good start, all things considered, for a guy that got moved out of the Friday spot to go toe-to-toe with a lineup that was, within arm's reach of hosting before some things happened late in the year. I was pretty impressed with the line that Ty Horn was able to put up. He gave Nebraska a chance, which is all you can ask your guy to do in that. Bullpen faltered a little bit, which wasn't overly surprising, but 3 runs isn't going to win you many games in regionals. 8 runs, like you got against Arizona State, should win you plenty, but 3 runs against an SEC caliber lineup that they came in hitting bombs. I'm not surprised Nebraska dropped that game, even though I was pretty impressed with Ty Horn keeping Nebraska in it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not sure that it went in any direction that we weren't familiar with.
Right.
We knew what it looked like. We knew what it was supposed to look like, but we knew what we actually saw. And you can be proud of the Huskers and the way they competed and who they are and still say, my goodness gracious, we need one of those.
Yeah.
Like, we need one of those. We need another arm like this. We need another bat, jacked up 4-spot hitter that looks the part, right?
Yeah.
Because when you watch the Danny Jacksons of the world and you watch them just attack baseballs, you watch the end of season Oregon Ducks and the way they were violently attacking baseballs, the way that the men of Troy, who just felt like they never met a fastball they didn't like, to watch UCLA have to grind, bump, grind, smash, go through the whole thing and try to figure out, why isn't this working? Well, quite frankly, nobody respects you in this time of year. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. You got to beat people. And that's what, and watching Nebraska, I felt like, I'm not surprised. I actually thought the women would win and go one step further, but surprised, no.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm probably a little bit more, dare I say, let down by baseball. I thought with a chance to host, they needed to find a way to go 2-2, no matter how pretty it was or wasn't, even if they didn't advance. I thought it would have been a good sign of growth, a step forward for the program at home, backs against the wall, to come out and beat whoever it was in the loser side of the bracket should they drop the first one. They gave Arizona State a run, but couldn't do it. Softball, you're the highest of the highs. You're playing darn good competition. It's the elite of the elite. It's the final 8. And so 1 and 2, okay. You had your chances. You just missed on a couple. Jordy Fromm was off against Alabama a little bit early before settling down, right back on against Texas before a bloop and a blast. But, whereas it was the pitching and the bullpen, I would say, for Nebraska baseball, the offense just kind of dried up for Nebraska softball. Couldn't quite manufacture enough runs from what I could tell.
But they were in every case, they were exactly who we were familiar with. So
sure,
you can't be surprised. Once they show
not surprised.
They've shown you in full on several occasions. There's plenty of evidence that told you Nebraska could be the number 1 team. They could beat the number 1 team in the country, or they could lose just because the bats went cold or one bad pitch. That's kind of softball, especially in the late version of the season. We watched great pitchers, 6 spectacular pitchers get got by a late inning bad pitch to a power hitter, and it cost you.
A good pitch that found a home and a bad pitch that visited the fence.
All of it. And then for baseball, it was the errors, the type of errors that we did not see during the season showed up in postseason. A bobble, a kick, a misread, all of those things.
Is that a baseball happens, or is that a Nebraska wasn't ready for the moment?
No, that's a baseball happens, because it happened in every region and super region that we watched. We watched it yesterday. And watched Oklahoma, watched UNC and Texas. You watched Alabama, you watched Georgia and Mississippi State. All of the games were, oh boy, because we had seen these before. These were some magnificent 11-9, 13-11 games. Really good pitchers, just grinding and not being able to get it done. Bullpens making good pitches. You make 9 good pitches. That 10th one, you let the little meat on the bone, and it hurts you.
Yeah.
But that's what this is all about. Like, there's the reason why there's no guarantee in this. It's not supposed to be easy.
Right.
It's not supposed to be, and it wasn't.
Thomas and Lincoln on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line says, hook 'em horns. Great game that the Huskers gave. Certainly a familiar foe. Nebraska played Texas earlier in the year, took down the Longhorns in one of those meetings, end up losing the season series. A lot of good stuff, though, on the diamond for Nebraska baseball and Nebraska softball. DP, let's start with baseball, because we'll talk more about the next steps for softball in our next segment. What's next What do they need more of, right? You saw you across the dugout from Ole Miss, from Arizona State. You mentioned, big burly cleanup hitter potentially to sock the ball over the wall. Beyond that, what else is on there for Nebraska to at least go 500 in a regional? And if not, maybe advance out of a regional to a super.
So 500 in the regional is not the mission.
It's not the goal.
You really want to figure out, okay, what's the difference then between Nebraska and the teams that advanced or that at least were still competing? And I would say supplements. Maybe it's gym routine. I don't know. But we don't have anybody. There was nobody in the Nebraska lineup that looked like some of the lineups we saw. Massive human beings swinging baseball bats. Massive human beings standing on the mound and just dealing. We watched Ole Miss and their squad came into the mill, and their pitchers, I went, that looks like the front line of the Final Four basketball team. Like, what are we doing? That it just it looks different, and they play different. And I understand that when you have that sort of comfort and familiarity with being in difficult situation, it doesn't stress you and it doesn't seem to.
Right.
So you said too big for the moment, or the moment being too big. Neither is true in the fact that, quite frankly, it is what it is. Everybody plays. Everybody. Ole Miss, we watched Mississippi State and Ole Miss come from behind 3 runs to watch UNC. Now, little ACC, why are we talking Tar Heels in May?
Yuck.
Right?
Don't like it.
But for the second time in 3 years, they have an answer. And their thing is, we'll put the ball in play hard. Put the ball in play hard. Not launch angle. It's not contact through. It's not let the ball get in deep. We're going to attack fastballs. We're just going to attack fastballs. And we're going to put the ball in play hard and then make you defend us.
Yeah.
And it just wears on you. We're going to pound the strike zone. We like hitting strikes, so we like throwing strikes. And quite frankly, you're going to have to swing the bat to beat us. And they're okay with it being a slugfest because they just think in a slugfest, we slug better. And that's what played out. West Virginia, when you watch West Virginia, much better pitching than advertised, right?
Yep.
Much better pitching. But how will that pitching do in Omaha? Right? Because
to see.
Right?
First time ever for the Mountaineers.
And then what do they do? They get Troy. And you would think that Troy comes in this thing as Cinderella. I don't know. Cinderella comes from that pairing, but I'm not sure which one is Cinderella. I don't know what the bigger story is. There are going to be songs of Rocky Top and shots of bourbon happening in Omaha, and I think it becomes a thing. If Ole Miss and North Carolina, I'm interested what the over-under is going to be. I wouldn't bet, but I'm curious about, what are we talking about, 17 runs a game?
Oh, gosh.
Right.
Imagine. Maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
some 10-7s and 11-6.
Not being surprised. Texas and Georgia.
Oh, gosh. I mean, 9-8.
Oh, give me all of it, right? Like, this is popcorn and hot dog weather, and this is the time of year. And then, oh, by the way, it's the Sooners and Roll Tide and in Omaha. So they're going to travel, and all those folks are not getting here Wednesday. Some of them are getting here Thursday so they can watch Friday's game, and they're going to be at the stadium making noise. And this is going to be a rowdy bunch because nobody expected to be there. Nobody assumed they were going to be there. They're all thrilled to be there. And then it's just game on. Like, I love the fact that the SEC folks, we said we didn't want this. We kind of did.
I don't mind this crop of SEC. Now, Texas, sure, abominable. It's Texas. Georgia baseball is kind of a newcomer, right? Not bad for a football school. Ole Miss won it a handful of years ago, but hadn't been back since, I don't think.
We saw them.
Alabama, good job, Nick Saban. Oh, wait, you're not coaching baseball too? I'm not exactly mad at this crop of SEC teams. Is it better with a team like LSU in the fans? Maybe, maybe not. Am I happy the Vandy Whistlers at home? Yeah, probably, even though Vandy was fine to us while we were around and saw them. Florida, they've had their time in the sun, that sort of thing. Might have been interesting to see Kentucky make
LSU,
it. The cost
LSU
of
sitting
Kentucky.
in this, sitting at home going, wait a minute. What
Why are we there? Yeah.
But
Mississippi State had its chances, like you
the
said.
biggest story what didn't happen for the Big Ten.
I don't know if that'll be the biggest story for college baseball, but it can be the big story for us. And UCLA falling flat, Oregon having all its chances, and then going one for the weekend with runners in scoring position. And
did they just run out of
Nebraska.
gas? Did they run out of gas, or are they just not that talented?
Well, can those two things go hand in hand?
They absolutely can, but I think we need to ask, what is the headline to why there are no Big Ten teams in the College World Series?
Because it's been rare to begin with, and then your favorites fell flat this year. UCLA made it last year, and then stumbled in a big way.
You still have resources, right?
You got plenty. You should.
You still got resources.
You got a baseball guy as commissioner.
I do not understand why it's accepted. And if you tell me that it's just going to be USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington, okay, I'm going to hear that out. But at the same token, that leaves a little room for Maryland. That leaves a little room for Rutgers, a little room for Penn State on why you can't play at the level of those folks, coastal folks, and that's it. You can tell me it's coastal north, but Washington, Oregon is coastal west, right? We understand. Still north.
Mm-hmm.
We understand it. Why can't you do these sort of things? And it's going to be an interesting. I listened to some people talk about it, that some Big Ten team in the middle of the country is going to build a retractable roof stadium so that they can compete with the rest of the country when it comes to baseball.
Yeah.
Because you can't just play meaningful games in Florida and Phoenix and then come home and do it with like mittens on your hands.
Yeah.
Because it's so cold.
Right. I'll say this to wrap up this segment before we talk a little more softball in the next one. It's a little bit unfortunate that Nebraska drew ultimately a College World Series team in its pod in Ole Miss, who got hot at the right time. Nebraska couldn't overcome it. Luck of the draw, whatever you want to call it, luck of the seeding, bad luck. You still didn't overcome it, so it goes. It is still frustrating, though, DP, to me to some degree, to see like Indiana State have some success, to see Kansas go on the run that it was going on and have that level of success. West Virginia, you would say is probably somewhat similar to Nebraska in ways in terms of, climate and what they're dealing with over there in Appalachia. Why have these other schools been able to crack the code, but not Nebraska? Not saying Nebraska can't, but every time you see a Kansas pop up, a Kansas State pop up, a West Virginia pop up, Iowa have a year, it just makes me want it that much more badly for Nebraska to figure it out. Because you're right there. You can do it.
But I'm not sure they are just right there. You keep putting Ole Miss, Arkansas in the same region as Nebraska. Why? They don't play the same number of games, same style of games, same depth of games, right? You just don't. Their warm weather season starts sooner. Their competitive games playing postseason baseball starts sooner, and then you're playing catch up, and they never catch up. Nebraska haven't yet ever caught up. They haven't caught up. So some of that is circumstance, some of that's condition, but you're not putting Nebraska in a great position to do well at regions and super regions because they're always playing from behind.
Well, so is Kansas, though, right?
But look what happened. They got mollywopped today.
They still made a super.
Well, you can make the super, but can you compete for a national title?
Well, that to me is again, you're right in that competing for a national title, ultimate goal. Progress isn't linear, but if you're breaking it down in terms of steps, Kansas took a step, Nebraska didn't. West Virginia took
look
two
at their
steps,
bracket.
Nebraska
Look at their
didn't.
bracket and tell me that what's the tougher bracket?
It's probably comparable,
right? So I mean, here's the thing: you get a break or you don't get a break, right?
You didn't make a break.
Yep,
potentially if you're Nebraska.
That's true too.
Nebraska softball, Jordy Fromm, a shoe-in for success as pitching coach, or is there some she's just a natural? Will it translate to other people on the staff? Her impact is great on the field. Can she have the same impact as a coach? We'll get to that next on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Is your technology built for where you are or for where you're going? Can your current technology support future growth? To break through that invisible ceiling, you need executive-level strategic technology advising. Moser can help your business grow appropriately and efficiently. giving you the ability to turn your tech stack from a cost center into a growth engine. Visit moserit.com/theticket. That's moserit.com/THETICKET to learn more.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere air seeder during Landmark Implement's early order program. Take your seeding performance to the next level with John Deere's advanced air seeding technology. Achieve precise seed and fertilizer placement. With innovative openers and section control, you can maximize efficiency and reduce input costs. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year during Landmark Implement's air seeder early order program. Contact your local Landmark location for details and experience the Landmark difference.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, take the worm, put it on the hook. Now bring your pole back and throw it forward. And just let the fish come to you.
I got a bite! It's a big one, Dad!
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Time for a new AC? Call Bryant. Get rebates now and lower operating costs every day. For comfort and efficiency, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The end of the school year is drawing near, which means graduation parties are coming soon. Are you prepared for hosting? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate graduations and the close to a great school year. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you consider throwing a party without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No graduation party is complete without it.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Looking for the ultimate game day spot? Arbor Axe House has everything you need. Axe throwing, cold beers, and the big game. Whether you're celebrating a win or talking trash with friends, nothing beats the rush of sticking an axe while cheering on your favorite team. Perfect for bullseye beginners and seasoned pros. Our axe throwing experts keep the fun going and the drinks flowing. Step up to the plate at Arbor Axe House. Book a lane at arboraxe.com or call 402-802-9696. Arbor Axe House on the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
I feel like I'm getting robbed when I bet the finals on a sports book. Dude, delete that app. You need to be using Polymarket. Polymarket? Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sports book. You trade against other fans, not the house. That means more money for you and less for greedy sports books. Even during the finals? Especially during the finals. You can even trade on whether Trump or Chalamet will attend the games. No way. What's the catch? No catch. And it's available in all 50 states. Polymarket is so confident you'll never go back, they're giving you $50 free on your first trade. I'm deleting my sportsbook app. How do I get started?
Download Polymarket now and use promo code LAP for $50 free for your first trade. Stop letting sportsbooks steal from you. Download Polymarket and use promo code LAP for $50 free on your first trade. Use promo code LAP.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back. It is Old School. Show brought to you in part by the good folks over at Schweizo Construction. Really appreciate them, their sponsorship of Old School. At Schweizo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Schweizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply today at Schweizo.com. 40-plus years strong in business. Schweizo Construction. Austin Orman, DP, with you for the next hour and a half here on Old School. DP will go back to the Diamond, softball specifically, from the circle to the dugout. Jordy Fromm, the second pitcher in the last few years to go straight from her playing days to the dugout to help Rhonda Revelle out as an assistant coach. First, it was Olivia Farrell, and now it's Jordy Fromm. Congrats to her and her husband, Trey, as well on the pregnancy announcement. Big week for Jordy Fromm and family, obviously. Pretty cool for her to be interested in coaching, be able to stick around at Nebraska and do that. Of course, with Lori Sipple walking away, a spot opened up on staff. Your reaction to the addition of Jordy Fromm to the Husker coaching staff?
Wonderful. Leadership is leadership is leadership. You have 3 pitching coaches on the coaching staff right now. Even though you lost one, you still have 3. I think we need to highlight that she is a multi-tool softball player.
Was not named pitching coach necessarily.
Right. Which is, I had to correct somebody earlier this morning that wasn't necessarily the case.
Yeah.
That she was a great leader, removed some of the fear of competing in high spaces, playing at high speed, and then how you bounce back from less than stellar performances, whether it be an at bat, a fielding attempt, a throw, whatever it was. So there's the value in that. I'm happy for it, and I think it's a great move, great recruiter in the space. But do the quick math. A newborn in softball season. That's really a thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing. So,
yeah.
But I'm sure they have a plan for it. It's not the first time it's happened. So Nebraska's not the only people who had to deal with that. So, but I like the move. I think it's a great addition.
I'm always intrigued when big names like this get into coaching, right? Because for every Larry Bird that's going to win, Coach of the Year in the NBA and have some pretty good success over 3 seasons, there's a Michael Jordan owner who can't steer the Bobcats / Hornets out of the mire necessarily. And I think Jordy Fromm obviously has a pretty unimpeachable resume as a player in a lot of ways with everything that she accomplished. I still think, though, that she's got to earn it as a coach, right? She's a rookie coach. Maybe she helped out on the side, in a mentorship kind of role when she was injured a couple seasons ago. I'm sure she's, helped a ton of players along the way with some tweaks, or they've gone to her for advice. But you would know better than pretty much anyone at the station. Coaching is a different beast. It's one thing to be a helpful player and a helpful teammate, but to go into that role of coaching with plenty of players who were your teammates just last year, and I think she's going to handle it great. We just got to see her prove that she can handle it.
Yeah, I mean, the evidence would say that there are boxes being checked on a regular basis. Leadership in the dugout, in workouts, in rehab and recovery, film study, how to study hitters, how to study defenders, how to process the big moments. So there's evidence that says she's going to be just fine. I don't think, she was called a coach on the field, and I thought that made all the sense in the world. That she was often, even when things got chaotic, she was the one that calmed things down. She was the one that got things reset, and then kept it moving. And we have to remember this team lost 2 games in the last 4 months. So,
yeah.
Okay.
And a coaching staff that won regional coaching staff of the year, right? So she ought to slot right into that. Thomas and Lincoln says, if Jordy stays and Rhonda Revelle leaves, do you think Jordy would be asked to take over as head coach? I doubt this early.
I would not. Oh, man.
Wouldn't say no. Don't know if that'd be the first choice.
I don't know that it wouldn't be.
I don't know.
I could see it going either way.
I don't. Well, quite frankly, it would be the choice. For me, it would be the choice.
Didn't Carolina do something like that with like a soccer player or lacrosse or field hockey player?
Yeah,
Like
it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Mia Hamm as a coach. I don't have as much problem with it as some people apparently do. In today's game, she would be the best recruiter.
I think
she's got the work ethic. She's the one that Ronda Ravel has to tell to go home. Hey, go home. Now she's got a reason to go home and a reason to tell people when enough work is enough work. So I don't see the negative. I was asked about that at Carolina Station this morning. I don't see a negative in it. I think it's going to work, and I think it's a great addition.
I tend to agree. You mentioned the coach on the field aspect. In your opinion, which sport benefits most from a quote unquote coach on the field type of player?
Basketball.
Does it have to be the point guard?
No, Bill Russell won titles. Don Nelson being that player kind of around. Magic had success and failure and struggle. Same thing. Jordan he stayed as far away from that as humanly possible. But I think basketball, one, because there's a better understanding of all the positions on the floor and what's required to make it work. The hit or miss factor is more likely because there's only 5 players at a time. So yeah, I would certainly say basketball.
If you had to build a team of coaches on the floor for basketball, are you taking Russell at center?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he's the only one.
Okay, 4 more then. 4 more coaches on the floor at the same time.
Kerr makes it Phil Jackson as the 4. I could have taken Don Nelson at the 3. Lenny Wilkins. Probably John Thompson as the 6th man off the bench.
Okay.
And then Lenny was the guy. Lenny Wilkins is probably the guy that gives me the most. I still would take Bird just for what was done in the short period of time.
Okay.
I thought I would put Kevin McHale, but I didn't. I couldn't.
1 Celtic, 2 Celtics, 3's too many.
Becky Hammond.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Becky Hammond would be a really good choice.
Who would be the coach of the coaches on the floor?
Red Auerbach. Pat Riley. Pat Riley in both cases. Like he falls into.
Could Phil Jackson be the player coach of the coaches on the floor?
The Zen master, yes. But I would still say John Thompson be the coach of that squad. John Thompson, because he's the only one to get all of them's attention. And all of them would listen to. Even Bill Russell said, "Hey man, I had to face that dude every day. I know how bad he is."
Thomas and Lincoln, would you have put Kobe in your coaches on the floor?
If Kobe had been around to coach. If Kobe had been around to coach. There are certain players.
Was that Kobe's demeanor though? Or is he more MJ?
Well, I mean, he copied MJ. So it makes sense. I don't think Steph Curry will be a great coach. I think he'd be a great executive. Like Steph Curry, I don't want to see Steph Curry on the bench. I want him in the office. I think that would be important. KD.
More Jerry West than Steve Kerr?
Yes. Jerry West had a real problem coaching. He just didn't understand why people weren't working as hard and loving the game as much as he did.
Why can't you do this? It's easy.
Yeah, this is Paul Silas is another one that falls into that conversation of guys. As I think about Paul Westphal,
sure,
certainly falls in that into that space. Mark Jackson certainly needs to be in the conversation. Mark Jackson, I mean, again,
was not bad.
Golden State is not Golden State without Mark Jackson setting the precedence. So I'm okay with that. Point guards tend to do probably a better job than a lot.
Jason Kidd, yes, been okay, fine to good. Steve Nash got dealt quite a hand.
The fact that you're good. I mean, listen, it's not easy.
Doc Rivers,
absolutely. Because it's longevity. If you're 500,
John Shire?
If you're 500 or 505, 550, and you played and you have 8 years in your resume, you qualify. Like you made it work. Wes Unseld. I would put into that category. I feel like I'm missing somebody.
Well, you think about it. Raider fan says Doc Rivers is the Mike McCarthy of NBA coaches.
Wow. Ouch. Wow. No. I would have given that to Paul Westphal. No, I would give that to Don Nelson.
Okay.
Don Nelson.
Big Don.
Big Don.
Okay. Big Don did pull the 1-8.
Yeah, but that's again, they're still both sort of in this space. Trying to think. I really am I feel like I'm missing a layup. I feel like
a Vlade Divac, going more front office than anything.
Yeah, Vladdy's a front office guy. He's not a bench coach.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that Sam Cassell should have been a head coach by now. I would have thought that Sam Cassell would have had a full run of coaching by now. I also thought that Hubert Davis would be a better pro coach than he was college.
Interesting.
Well,
he's free to try that out now.
Well, he is, and I'm not sure that he won't. Zeke. Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
Isaiah was a better Joe Dumars. Like they're both in that. Bill Laimbeer
yeah.
Laimbeer did a good job in the WNBA. So there's certain those players who played the cerebral game and then they are able to transition into that. But again, if you had a flaw, you're willing to coach against the flaw. And that's a constant thing with folks. So yeah, for some reason, somebody from the Bucks comes to mind, but I like the group that we just listed. That's pretty good.
Okay, give us your thoughts as well on that 402-464-5685. We got a text here from where'd it go? It was right
Thomas
here.
and Lincoln. You behave. You behave.
Thomas and Lincoln does not behave.
You behave yourself because that is a full hours of conversation. You're setting me free to talk Danhausen and Knicks. I am here for it. I am here for it.
What if we have a segment to talk about?
Oh,
can we wrap up this hour this way?
I give you all the business, baby.
Okay.
I give you all the business.
We'll talk some Danhausen and the Knicks after this on the 91-74. Can we just simulate to basketball season? They'll simulate a basketball hour coming up at 5. Nebraska men's basketball starts summer workouts today. We'll talk about that crew at 5 o'clock. But next, Danhausen and the Knicks. Get ready, folks. Come back with us.
Yep.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, take the worm, put it on the hook. Now bring your pole back and throw it forward. And just let the fish come to you.
I got a bite! It's a big one, Dad!
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Planet Fitness has everything you need from warm-up to wind-down, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to bring a friend anytime, access any of our 2,800-plus clubs, or reset and recover in the Black Card Spa, we're ready to fuel your momentum, and then some. Enjoy all the perks with the Planet Fitness Black Card. Join the club today for $1 down, $24.99 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends June 12th.
See Club for details.
If you're looking for a workplace that feels like home, Midwest Bank might just be the place. We're hiring a personal banker in Lincoln who enjoys helping others and being a part of a close-knit team. With great perks and a community-focused mission, you'll feel right at home here. Porque aquí todos son bienvenidos. Apply today at Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer. Member FDIC.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a slight chance of showers and storms this afternoon. Otherwise, we'll see partly sunny skies and light winds with a high near 89. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, low around 70. And tomorrow, we'll see partly sunny skies, be hot, an afternoon high near 96. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet, GMC, and Chevrolet. And GMC Truck Month is here. Absolutely huge discounts and 2.9% for 72 months. I also just wanted to share a little bit more about the Koppel family. They've been serving the Omaha and Lincoln and surrounding communities for over 50 years with great customer service and small town charm. That's always been our motto, and we absolutely will not be undersold. It truly is confident buying and confident driving. So come on in, meet the team, check us out at Koppel or at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Noticing more dust at home? It may be time for duct cleaning from Bryant. Breathe easy and healthy. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back in to Old School, brought to you by the good folks over at Graham Tire Company. Austin Orman, DP, with you. Another hour and change to go here on the show. DP, a couple of things to get to before we get to Danhausen in the next year at the end of the segment. First of all, we got this from Adam Zagoria, who's writing for the New York Times sports sections. Breaking news on the New Jersey high school hoop scene. Roselle Catholic taps into its storied past for a new boys hoops coach.
Former
CJ Wilcher.
Former ticket host, CJ Wilcher.
How about that? Good on you, CJ Wilcher.
You know, those ticket alumni are doing well. They're doing well. It's really good to watch. Really good to see. As a matter of fact, I talked to Cal Perry earlier this morning just to see how he was doing, checking in from Loco Beach and the Coconuts. Along the way, CJ was a coaching assistant with Maryland last year.
Nice.
So he got to work in, and now he got a good one. Got a good spot.
I ran into a Husker alum at Epley on my return flight. This has been late Saturday night.
Who'd you run into?
One Sam Hoiberg.
Oh, attaboy.
Yeah, coming back from his own trip. So nice to catch up with
engaged
Sam.
and whatnot.
Yes, indeed. Some big stuff happening. So congratulated him on all that. Nice to bump into Sam. Had a nice little conversation with him. We have this from 49 at 79 on the text line. DP, any current NBA players you think could be the next great coach?
I think Klay Thompson would make an exceptional coach.
Okay.
Jaylen Brown would make an exceptional coach.
Harden?
Jalen Brunson would make an incredible coach. Harden is cerebral. I think Harden would be an executive.
Okay.
Being able to piece together the right parts.
Okay.
Not so much managing the right parts, but putting together the right parts to make it work, to find a system that works. Of course, that fellow in Los Angeles.
Kawhi Leonard.
No.
The other one.
Yeah, the other one. The other 23. 6 or 23, whatever you want to say it. But I think he's going into executive ownership. So I think that'll save him from doing what Magic thought he had to. Magic thought he had to do that, and I didn't think it was necessary. So, and you mentioned somebody, John Wall. More I thought about it. Yeah, the John Wall would be a really good. I tell you what, I think Bradley Beal would be an exceptional coach. Oh my goodness,
I'm a Brad Beal guy.
Bradley Beal would be, and then if you went and got Trevor Ariza. Trevor Ariza, well, he was a multi-position player. It's that part, right? Can you transition?
Yeah.
Do you have an offensive and defensive understanding of all the positions on the floor at all times? And those are the people. I'm stunned that Derek Fisher isn't. I'm stunned that Derek Fisher isn't, quite frankly.
Tony Parker just landed a head coaching job with Asvel over there in France.
Yeah, but
not
I don't
NBA.
know why he's over. Like I thought he and Manu would find their way over here.
Still might. I mean, Thiago Splitter was over there, and then he came to Portland.
The Spurs weren't really building builders. They built doers. They're not building builders. You're following the footsteps of Pop. That wasn't really what they wanted to do because they saw the wear and tear of what it did. If it affected Pop, I don't want this.
Which is why I'm less surprised they went for a guy like Mitch Johnson, who's already in-house. But I thought that's where maybe they would have gone to a Budenholzer or a Brett Brown or down the list.
No,
Malone.
It was somebody that was willing to do the hard stuff first. And that's a big part of hiring is, do you want to do the hard stuff? Like everybody wants the glorious glamour stuff and the easy stuff and get me the star and playing in the building and great crowd, yada, yada. Who wants to do the hard development, the hard management, the hard space, and to have the hard conversations? That's who I want to run staff, is that person. I would rather have that than just talent.
Is getting Danhausen to uncurse the Knicks the easy part or the hard part?
The fact that he did.
Yeah, was that easy or hard? I was unfamiliar about this.
Oh man, it's the easy part because they had nothing to do with it. They weren't good enough to ask for Danhausen. This has to be a universal thing. The universe gifted them. This is them having favor. This is the New York Knicks having favor. Finally, the blessing shows up, and it had nothing to do with anything they wanted or asked for. Literally, that this gem of a thing showed up at their front door, shiny, bright, and wonderful. Blessed them to the greatest run in their in the last 50 years for the New York Knicks. And there's literally no other explanation because we saw them against Atlanta before the blessing, before the cursing, right? We saw them struggle against the Atlanta Hawks and then Danhausen. And since then, nothing can go wrong. It's amazing to watch.
Shout out Danhausen, I guess. Does he get a ring if they finish it off?
He gets a ring. He gets
Are the finals over?
He gets a parade. Well, here's the thing. Well, I'll get in trouble. I'll get in trouble if I tell you what I really think.
Okay, shall you go to break before you get in trouble?
Let's go to break before I say a thing because I think there's a chance it ends tonight.
Okay. Hold your horses. We'll get back to that at some point here in hour 3. But we did have a request to talk some Husker basketball.
Let's do that.
They open workouts. We'll talk about that team, that program, and some news from the women's side after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Looking for the ultimate game day spot? Arbor Axe House has everything you need. Axe throwing, cold beers, and the big game. Whether you're celebrating a win or talking trash with friends, nothing beats the rush of sticking an axe while cheering on your favorite team. Perfect for bullseye beginners and seasoned pros. Our axe throwing experts keep the fun going and the drinks flowing. Step up to the plate at Arbor Axe House. Book a lane at arboraxe.com or call 402-802-9696. Arbor Axe House on the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Is your technology built for where you are or for where you're going? Can your current technology support future growth? To break through that invisible ceiling, you need executive-level strategic technology advising. Moser can help your business grow appropriately and efficiently, giving you the ability to turn your tech stack from a cost center into a growth engine. Visit moserit.com/theticket. That's moserit.com/THETICKET to learn more.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Couple Chevrolet, GMC, and Chevrolet. And GMC Truck Month is here. Absolutely huge discounts and 2.9% for 72 months. I also just wanted to share a little bit more about the Couple family. They've been serving the Omaha and Lincoln and surrounding communities for over 50 years with great customer service and small town charm. That's always been our motto, and we absolutely will not be undersold. It truly is confident buying and confident driving. So come on in, meet the team, check us out at Couple or at CoppleCars.com. All deals with approved credit.
3, 2, 1. The drop is live. Screens freeze everywhere, except yours. You've been training for this moment. And with Allo Fiber's zero-lag precision, you strike first. No lag, no limits, just speed. Can your internet provider do that? Stay ahead of every drop. Visit allofiber.com/all-in.
If you're looking for a workplace that feels like home, Midwest Bank might just be the place. We're hiring a personal banker in Lincoln who enjoys helping others and being a part of a close-knit team. With great perks and a community-focused mission, you'll feel right at home here. Porque aquí todos son bienvenidos. Apply today at Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer. Member FDIC.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Noticing more dust at home? It may be time for duct cleaning from Bryant. Breathe easy and healthy. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Power Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score. Woo! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, indeed. Welcome in hour 3 of the show, brought to you, as always, by Graham Tire Company, proudly serving the Midwest for more than 75 years. They've got 4 locations here in Lincoln. Check them out across the capital city and tell them Old School sent you. Take a picture while you're there. Let them know, and we'll give you a little shout-out on air for doing it just that. We also give you a shout-out on air as you participate in the show. 402-464-5685 on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line, as well on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter streams, where you can drop some comments there as well. I'm Austin. He's DP. And DP, we promised the folks, including 9174, we talked some Nebraska men's basketball as they open up some team workouts coming up soon, but a lot of individual weightlifting, acclimatory. Is that a word? Acclimatory?
You just said it.
It is now.
So it's a word.
So acclamational, I don't know. They're getting acclimated to summer workouts and getting to know each other and their team. DP offseason pretty much underway now officially for Nebraska. Roster appears to be set. Big thanks as well to Nate Lenzer, spending some time with us a couple Thursdays ago now out at Matt Talbot. Great to catch up with the coach who has one gear. We knew that reputationally, and getting him on there, great to chat with Coach Lenzer there for about half an hour over at Matt Talbot. DP, what does a good follow-up for Nebraska men's basketball look like coming up in 26-27?
Grade 8.
Okay.
Grade 8. That's it. Grade 8. You've got to get back to the Sweet 16 and fix a thing that was a noticeable hiccup, right? In a critical game, in the most critical game of the year. And you have to admit what the flaw was, and then you have to fix it. And if you tell me that the biggest flaw, the thing that fans said in the entirety of last season, big and offense.
Okay.
Right? We weren't getting offensive production from Berke. Berke says, thanks. I appreciate you. I heard you. I'll get out of here. So you need to replace all of the things, all of the plus-minute things that Berke did. Not easy to do, but you have to go and get some dues. You have to replace all of the plus-minute things that you got in the middle of your floor. And you have to say, Rink Mass and what he did over the time, even with labor, workload management, et cetera. Now you need young people who can do those things, work in space, facilitate from the point, top of the key, stretch to the top of the key and beyond, create space, rebound, be a better rebounder, and maybe affect shots defensively a little better than Rink Mass did. And then give you some depth, a better bench option than Jarrett, right? That we like Jarrett. Was that
we didn't love Jarrett.
We didn't get comfortable in him. So you address that. You went and got 4 bodies that fit those things. And then you got the return of the Mac. You got the return of the player. Then you get the return of not only Batman, but Robin, right? So you did that thing. And then you need to replace, again, the plus minutes guy, Jamarcus Lawrence. How do you replace that? Well, you went and got 2 players who do all those things plus percentages, right? And plus percentages. Then it's just work, right? Then it's just work. You kind of know what you had in the point guard position. You went and got that replacement and an option, right? That will take shots that Sam wouldn't take and can facilitate in the mid-range, which is another plus. But then what happens now? You hand it over to your trainer and your
new strength coach, by the way.
Your new strength coach and Nate Linder, who is the maestro at getting into the heads of these young people and getting them not only to do the work, but to enjoy the work, to embrace the work. And that is magic. That's where magic happens. What other teams in the Big Ten don't have is a Nate Linder. They can get all the moving parts and all the bodies, all the height, all the width, what you don't have is Nate Linder, who literally can speak things into existence simply through will, just through will. And so this is the time where work is done. We, close the curtain, pull the curtain. I'm a member of this club. I don't need to overwatch this thing. I don't want to be that fan to overwatch Nebraska basketball. I'm still in the afterglow. I'm still in the afterglow of a Sweet 16. Like, you can tell me a whole lot right now. I'm really okay with it. I'm okay with it. When you get to September, okay. When I see them on the sideline at football games, it'll tell me a lot. It'll tell me a lot, but I don't need to know what they're doing right now.
That's fair.
I'm trusting Nate Linder to do the work.
He's done some good work with a bunch of players. And Starter Heyman Jewelers text line, I want to know from you, 402-464-5685. What does a successful 2026 and 27 season look like for Nebraska men's basketball in your estimation? 9174 says he wants to skip to basketball season. I can understand the excitement. Let's let him put in the work before we get there. Big Bang Hank asks, where did our Turkish friend Berke end up? He's at Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
He's at Vanderbilt. Mm-hmm. I still think that's pretty incredible. That I don't think there were conversations going on necessarily. I don't think that Berke was set on Vanderbilt when he entered the portal necessarily. I'm sure Vandy saw him hit those couple threes against them in some pretty big spots and said, okay, we like the defensive impact. And you were more than happy to mix it up Eastern European bouncer style with our guys over very little on the floor. And we'll go ahead and take that. So yeah, Berke ends up at Vanderbilt with Lincoln Southeast product Bangot Dak as well, transferring over from Colorado. I'll give Nebraska credit, DP, for, like you said, seeing where some of the issues were, being honest about what some of the shortcomings were, and going out and doing their best to address them in the portal. Never a sure thing, because I think if you look at what Trevin Lenhart brings, a pretty true point guard with size, in some ways he can be an upgrade on Sam Hoiberg. In other ways, Sam Hoiberg's going to have some things that he does better than Trevin Lenhart. Taj DeGorville off the bench, going to do some things better at a slightly bigger size than Jamarcus Lawrence, but not the exact same player. Sam Orr, not the same guy as Berke Buchengel. Bowden Kapke, not the same as Rink Mass. And I would argue that's probably the first clear downgrade for Nebraska this year. But then you have Leo Curtis. What does he look like with another full offseason and getting extended minutes? Damon Wilkinson coming over from South Dakota State. But it's something I think it's easy to get caught up in for fans and even people like me looking at the roster. Is we can look at all the ways that we think Nebraska improved in terms of the size, in terms of the shooting percentages, in terms of the line score stats. What I don't think Nebraska can replicate, no matter how hard they try, chemistry, cohesion, knowing the system. Not to say they can't get there, but you had a 5-year guy in Sam Hoiberg. You had a 4-year guy, essentially, in Jamarcus Lawrence, even though it wasn't in one run. You had a 3-year guy, 2 on the court in Rink Mast, so on and so forth there down the line. And then you add in, Price Sanford, a 2-year guy in Berke Buchengel, a 2nd year in the program, but 1st year on the court guy in Braden Frager. We know more and more in college sports that it's really an exercise in team building, chemistry building, cohesion. How quick can you get guys that learn what you want to do? I would agree that on paper, Nebraska looks better in a number of positions. It's all got to fit. It's all still got to click, though, and that's never a given.
Well, I mean, and listen, when we talk about, this is why I stay away from the speculation based and measurement based and falling into transfer portal talk and recruit talk and, okay, this guy changes the program, but blah, 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 blah. We don't know. Quite frankly, we don't know. And that's part of the beauty of it, is that we have no idea what we have no idea about. We haven't seen them together. We haven't seen them work out. We haven't been in film study. We haven't seen what kind of nutrition. We don't know what kind of injuries they're recovering from. We don't know their psyche. Did they transfer here for good or for evil? Right? Right. Were you leaving because you had accomplished everything you could accomplish wherever you were, and this was the next step? Or do you think this helps you take the next step? And there's a difference. There's a difference. Did you ask these players, all of this influx of new talent, are you more interested? Are you coming to Nebraska to be a superstar or to be a part of Nebraska basketball? And if you don't ask that question, you don't know the answer. And quite frankly, that's a great question to ask people, right? Are you coming here to play basketball for Nebraska, or are you coming here to become a superstar? And the moment you tell me that it's about superstar, you've told me that's going to be a step back, because there are too many things that require that you be unselfish in order for the team to have success. So we don't know. The reality is we don't know. I like the pieces based on what they did where they were, but where they were is not Big Ten basketball.
Right.
Where they were is not in front of a stacked house at PBA. It wasn't
Mackey, wasn't Breslin.
It wasn't any of those things. It wasn't facing Tom Izzo. It wasn't. It just wasn't. So I appreciate what you did. It's like watching a high school player. I appreciate what you did in high school. But as we say in the dating pool, I just met you. So I'm not giving you the keys to my house. I'm certainly not giving you the keys to my heart till I know, can you cook? Like I need this, can you clean? Like I need to know some things before I give you everything. And we don't know enough about Nebraska basketball.
I subscribe to Joe Posnanski's free email chain, and he led off one of his recent ones with this. Bill James talks all the time about something universal and eternal about baseball. All parenthetical here, and I think this applies beyond. We always think we know more about the game than we do. This is because we always think we know more about the world than we do, about the universe than we do, about ourselves than we do. That's the human experience. We are adrift in a black sea of ignorance, and we are carrying handheld flashlights.
Yeah, I mean, we're smart enough to know now that we don't know. We can go through.
We hope, we think, we can guess.
Yeah, but we have no idea what we have no idea about. Again, what injuries? Have you seen the medical reports of the transfers? And remember that the medical reports came from a doctor or a trainer who is not a part of Nebraska's standard or basis. You don't know. They're not going to tell you. Never a part. How you doing? How you doing physically, young man? Oh, I'm fine. I'm perfect, 100% ready to go. Till you put them in through suicide drills, and quite frankly, that ankle ain't triggering the way it's supposed to.
See, Drushavicius Kama Ugnis.
Right? All of it, right? I need you in there. We sold so much of the hype in the hype. And here's the part. It's never necessary. The hype is never necessary. We didn't have hype about this basketball team or the women's team or softball. We just didn't have the hype. Baseball, we didn't have the hype. Wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary. So when you tell me, are we hyping up Nebraska volleyball? We don't have to.
They don't need it.
We don't have to. You have to create hype. Hype means I need to, in a not organic way, get excited about a thing.
Is that happening with any programs over there? Sorry.
There's a push, right? There's a push. And you understand. And again, the people who fall in love with recruiting, I understand the hustle of trying to make recruiting important and a way for you to be heard, right? There's a space of expertise that you can be knowledgeable about. It has nothing to do. Name the last recruit at Nebraska who helped them beat Ohio State. Right. All of this stuff. Do you think there's a high school kid in the country just graduated who was prepared to help Nebraska beat Indiana?
Not that they're recruiting.
Not a one. Is there a transfer player who was able and capable of beating Michigan? Right. So when you have these, listen, I understand fanatics being fanatics, and I understand the love of the game, and you love the potential, because at 0-0, everybody can go undefeated. Everybody can.
Hope springs eternal, right?
What's the likelihood? What's the evidence to say that this year's team goes undefeated? Whatever team you're rooting for, what is the likelihood? Austin Orman, what percentage is it? What is the percentage of likelihood that Indiana goes undefeated and wins the national title this year?
Slim.
It's really difficult for the people who are there, where there's evidence that they know how to do it. But doing it again is almost impossible. It's rarely done. Back-to-backs don't happen.
Yeah.
Right? And that wait a minute. The last 3 have all been from the Big Ten and a different one every year. So the likelihood that you repeat at the highest level, and if you're not in the highest level, how difficult is it to get into the position to affect the last 3 national champions? And you're telling me that an 18-year-old who's playing in a state tournament game is going to help you do that this year? Oh, no, sir. Oh, no, sir. I want you to understand it. I get it. If you tell me that a 21-year-old is going to come in and help you, okay. He got his grown man face yet? Okay. Right? Frager, we saw the difference.
It's a little blockier, not quite as rounded. You're
Sanford, we saw the difference, right? We understand.
We have a text on him, by the way. We'll get to in a minute.
We saw Pius X, Sam Hoiberg, and then we saw him as a senior. Were they the same dude?
No.
How much friction did he go through in those 5 years?
Plenty.
If you think somebody is going to come in and work harder than Sam, what freshman is coming in and working harder than Sam Hoiberg did in basketball? I'll wait. It's not easy, people.
Never has been.
It's not easy. So
man,
oh man, you pay attention to that stuff. If you tell me that you hired a professional coach who is going to come in and change things in the way development happens, in the way growth happens in the program, I can buy into that a little. Right? Different leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because it means we're just not accepting all the BS that we accepted last year.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the most important position in college football? Austin?
I would say, still quarterback, right?
Does Nebraska have the best quarterback in the Big Ten?
I would not rank him as such.
Who had the best quarterback in the Big Ten last year?
The team that had the best quarterback in the country last year that ended up winning the national championship.
It's amazing how that works.
Seems like there's a connection there.
Might be. Might be. Little things.
Starter Human Jewelers text line 402-464-5685. Taking your thoughts all show long. You mentioned Price Sanford. DP, we'll get to this from Raider fan. Nebraska needs Price Sanford to level up to be atop the national scoring list. That will help Frager and the newbies come along. What does a better version of Price Sanford look like year over year with the year 2 Fred Hoiberg transfer jump? What do you think that could mean for Nebraska if there is more in the tank for Price Sanford?
I don't know that you need Price Sanford to level up, though. What was wrong with what he did? Everybody else needs to level up. Braden Frager needs to level up.
Agreed.
Right? Cale Jacobson needs to level up.
Yep.
Right? All these transfers need to level up. They all need to be better than they were a year ago and doing all the things that required. Price Sanford, he's going to effort to level up, but do you want him trying to do more? Do you want him to change his approach?
I don't want him to change his approach. I wouldn't mind if he came back with, let's say he has a fastball and a slider. Can he add a change?
Why?
Because if he's going to get run off the 3-point line and can shoot 45% from the mid-range instead of 35% from the mid-range, that opens a lot up.
Now you're nitpicking.
Oh, I am.
Like you're
Absolutely.
nitpicking. You're nitpicking.
But wouldn't that help Nebraska?
I don't know that it does, because quite frankly, you need for Braden Frager to help him when they run him off the 3-point line.
I agree that Frager needs to improve more than
right.
Price.
I
agree.
You need for Jacobson to be a better shooter from 3 when Frager occupies midline. We need for baseline work that the opposite corner 3 that Jacobson knocks that down or Frager knocks it down or any of
40% of the time.
I need somebody to crash the middle to the front of the rim when when Sanford goes off the 3-point line and dribbles and takes an apex defender and pulls him from the front of the rim, so one of these big 7-footers can do. But okay, everybody. It has to be a team. I keep saying it. It has to be a team thing. It has to be everybody getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Coaches have to be better. Trainers have to be better. Fans have to be smarter, and the players have to execute. It's you can nitpick it and go, you know what? I'd really like for him to be a 90, 50, 40 guy.
Guess what? That's an exclusive club. Oh, and by the way, he was darn close to that last year.
Right.
Let's
so
throw
you
that
hear
out
me,
there.
right? You hear me. Let Price Sanford be Price Sanford. Like what I want for him is for everybody else to be better. You know what? How about this? How about everybody else play as well as Price Sanford?
How about that?
How about that? How about that? How about you? I get that you start at the top and go, okay, I'm going to put more pressure on that. Hey, I need for Patrick Mahomes to throw for 76%. Dang.
You know who threw for 76% last year?
Yeah.
The Mahomes clone.
Right? Right.
Anyways.
Right? Like
sorry.
It's
right there.
no, but it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. No. Get better defensively. Tell me that. Tell me that you want him to occupy the middle of the floor at a more consistent basis. Tell me that you want him to be plus half a rebound a game. Tell me that you want him to be plus a half assist in the game, right? Because that means that you're making your teammates better by what you do already. And that's the idea, is that, listen, I don't have to take the bad shot late in the clock because I trust my teammate when I pull an extra defender, right? But before I'm going to take the bad shot because I don't have anybody to give the ball to.
We call that the first 3 years of Fred Hoiberg at Nebraska.
Right? Like, so, hey, man, let that dude be great. He's great. Let him be great. Everybody else needs to step up.
Yeah, and I think to your point, the way Price Sanford gets better and reaches 50, 40, 90, officially last year, 48% overall. He did shoot 61.5% from 2, but his pure three-point volume dragged that down just a little bit. So 48% overall, but 61.5% from 2. He was a 41.6% shooter from 3 on 9 attempts per game and an 85.5% free throw shooter with some weird, uncharacteristic misses early in the year. I would guess he was probably 90% in Big Ten play.
Again, that all the thing. And if we said that Price Sanford could make that improvement in one offseason, couldn't Frager?
It will probably be because Frager, right?
Part.
Because he'll get more spot up looks. He'll have to create less for himself. He'll get more back cuts with more attention somewhere else.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I'm right there with you with that one. A couple more to get to here. Thomas and Lincoln says 20 plus regular season wins and a Sweet 16 appearances success. 6246 says get back to the tournament, win a game or two. I don't think that's over the top to ask. I'm with you, DP. I don't want to put specific numbers or measurables on it right now. I do think that's probably about in the ballpark. You know, I think that the floor has been raised. I think the standard's been raised, more importantly for Nebraska. And, you know, I don't think it's tournament or bust or else necessarily. I think fans should enter next season confident that Nebraska men's basketball should be, well, could be at the very least, should be and ought to be an NCAA tournament team. And then from there, it's within the margins. You know, can you color within the lines? Are you playing for seeding? Are you playing in an 8-9? Can you work your way up to a lower single-digit seed? I don't know. I don't care right now, but I think I've seen enough to say Nebraska men's basketball is a consistent postseason team.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that.
No, I want them to be really good.
Mm-hmm. They have a chance to be.
I want them to be really good. Like simple things don't beat you. Consistently, bad things don't happen to you, right? And that's often because we do the simple good things often, right? So those really weird basketball things that happen just don't happen often because, quite frankly, you're shooting shots you should shoot, you're making shots you should shoot, and then you're not giving up the easiest shots to your opponent.
Right?
Basketball becomes complicated when people want it complicated, but from the fan base, except that. You now have evidence of Nebraska being able to be a really good basketball program.
Yeah.
This is year 2. If you tell me, were they really good a year ago? They were good a year ago, right? They won the crown.
Yeah.
You finished your season winning on a streak, no less.
Well, you were in position to make the NCAA tournament.
On a streak.
You were right there.
Right?
And then you didn't, and then you won the crown. So streak.
Right. So
and then 20 in a row.
So Williams, Casey going back another year, Casey in that run, right? So this is for the last 3 years.
This Walker right before that,
right? So this is a really good 3-year run, 4-year run. So now you're starting to head from really good teams to a really good program, and this is when you have the opportunity for this to be a really good program. But don't lose your focus.
Yeah,
it's the small things. Just do what you do well often. Like create space, find another shooter. Or did you find another shooter? Yes, we did. Did you find another big that could shoot? Yes, you did. You got another rim protector? Did you find one? Yes, we did. Did you find a ball handler? Yes, we did. All right, can we get him to mesh? We don't know.
We'll
we
see.
don't know. We'll see. We'll know. You'll know when we know.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk a little bit more about this. Got a couple more texts on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line to get to, and some schedule news for Nebraska men's basketball. A couple intriguing games on the schedule for the Huskers. We'll talk about that next, coming up on Old School Show, brought to you as always by Graham Tire Company.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Remember your first Salt Dogs game? Maybe it was a class trip out on the berm, or date night with actual fireworks, or team building that didn't feel like work at all. For 25 seasons, Haymarket Park remains Lincoln's place for firsts like these, the kind that last. Because it's more than a baseball game. It's the joy of being here together. These are the traditions that bring us home. So here's to you, Lincoln. Your local tradition plays on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Transform your watch party into a full fan experience. Benny's Battle Barge from Arbor Axe House is the mobile axe throwing trailer designed for fans who want more than just to watch from the sidelines. Step into a lane and go head-to-head while the game plays on screen. It's safe, fun, and perfect for groups who take their sports and their competition seriously. Upgrade your fan headquarters today. Charter the barge at arboraxe.com or call 402-802-9696. Arbor Axe House at the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Guys, if you're dealing with low back pain or trouble urinating, don't just live with it. These could be signs of treatable conditions. At Advanced Medical Imaging, their interventional radiologists specialize in minimally invasive procedures designed to relieve symptoms and improve your quality of life without major surgery. June is Men's Health Month. Take the step. Call Advanced Medical Imaging today to schedule a consult and find out what AMI can do for you.
Husker fans, the 2026 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need you there to continue to make the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium the best atmosphere in college football. You can now choose between 2 Husker football mini plans, including a 3-game mini plan for only $185 and a 4-game mini plan for only $225. Both plans are your best way to guarantee a ticket to the Indiana or Ohio State game. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Nevco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete in Lincoln and Palmyra. Ready Mixed offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply with Ready Mixed Concrete today to be eligible for a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nevco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with Ready Mixed Concrete. Visit NevcoInc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Building a new home can be a challenge, a lot of big choices. With our Remington homes, we have designed 15 different floor plans that appeal to a wide range of people.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier.
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, painted trim, wood floors, more stone, all options with our Remington homes. People do not want to be married to their house payment. You're able to get what you really want in a home for a great price with very limited stress. And that's what Remington homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Couple Chevrolet, GMC, and Chevrolet. And GMC Truck Month is here. Absolutely huge discounts and 2.9% for 72 months. I also just wanted to share a little bit more about the Couple family. They've been serving the Omaha and Lincoln and surrounding communities for over 50 years with great customer service and small town charm. That's always been our motto, and we absolutely will not be undersold. It truly is confident buying and confident driving. So come on in, meet the team, check us out at Couple or at CoppleCars.com. All deals with approved credit.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Keeping it going here on a Monday afternoon. And DP, I think there's a big man upstairs looking out for us because we're going to talk some Nebraska basketball, and we got some fodder from YouTube here. Okay. Mm-hmm. We have this from The Dog Within. LOL, they didn't even make their own conference tournament in 25. The crown talk is a joke. They did take a step forward this past season, but 3 good seasons out of 7 is not great. Miles was just missing the NCAA tournament win. Otherwise, he had a better 7-year record than Fred. Let that sink in. Also, Fred has 1 conference tournament win in 7 years. He did finally get the NCAA tournament victory. Glad it's out of the way. But people need some perspective about how bad Fred was for 4 years. I don't think that perspective is being missed. I think Husker fans were as disappointed as they've been in this men's basketball program with the way things went for, I would say, the first 2.5 years of Fred Hoiberg. Because at the end of year 3, you win on the road at Ohio State, at Penn State, and Wisconsin. Okay, maybe just some life at the end of the season, so it goes. But then you get back to 500. That's with Derek Walker missing the first handful of games of that season. You look like you're playing pretty well. And then guess what? Juwan Gary gets injured and Emmanuel Bandamel gets injured. 2 highly priced transfers that were playing a role for that team. You still scrape out a 500 record. And then you make the NCAA tournament. You're in position to make the NCAA tournament the year after that. You redeem the season by making some postseason and winning that tournament. First time the program had back-to-back 20-win seasons since the 90s. And then you one-up that by continuing to build with a 20-game winning streak in season, on top of then finishing second in an incredible Big Ten this year, falling behind only the eventual national champion in Michigan. And you make program history in winning an NCAA tournament game. There's no excusing how bad it was the first 3 years under Fred Hoiberg, but that's where I think Husker fans have all the more reason to rejoice in that Fred Hoiberg made some changes and some tough decisions that Tim Miles either was never asked to or never chose to make Nebraska anything better than mediocre outside of a couple years.
Focus. Austin Orman, are you better at your job now than you were 4 years ago?
I believe I am. I would hope so.
Are you working around and having success around national talent now more than you were 4 years ago?
I am.
Better producer?
I hope so.
Better director?
Believe so.
Program director? Mm-hmm. More information, better contacted, right? Mm-hmm. Better resource.
Yep.
Better on location reporter.
Yep.
Better.
I think I'm better. I think I've improved.
Do I ever ask you what happened before now?
You do not.
You know why? It doesn't matter. There's nobody out here who's worse at their job now than they were 4 years ago and still have the job and still having success. Mm-hmm. If you're having more success in your job now, it's better than if you had it 4 years ago. And I don't care. Do you know who did this job for us before you got here, Austin? It doesn't matter. You know why? They're not here. I don't care what happened with Tim Miles. I don't. Tim Miles never got to the Sweet 16, did he?
Nope.
So whatever success he had, it's relative to that. Now, I can pay attention to the evidence. And the evidence says that Fred Hoiberg is doing a better job coaching now, the last 3 years, than he did prior to, which is really what this is. Mm-hmm. He's just having better success than he had. Mm-hmm. That's all there is. Like, I don't need to compare. Every great metric is when you start comparing that to this to that, you miss some of the things in being present. Fred Hoiberg is doing a heck of a job. That's the result. That's there's evidence to support it. If you want to pay attention to what happened with Tim Miles 7 years ago, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I'll call Tony Farmer. I'll ask him all about it. I call Jerome Boone. I'll call Strick. I call all the guys. I can call all the guys and we talk all about it. I can ask them about, what was it like to play in the Sweet 16? I can ask them all, what was it like under Tim Miles winning an NCAA tournament? It's going to be short conversations all the while. Focus. The ability to say, and again, talking about what you know versus what you think you know. Fred Hoiberg is doing an exceptional job right now compared to 4 years ago. That's all I want. That's all I want. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next. I don't know what he does next. I don't know how it looks because, again, it's not like the NBA where you get to keep players. You got a new group of players. You got some returners, but you got your system and you have your systems. And quite frankly, as we talked about, there's a guy sitting next to him, Nate Linzer, that is amongst college assistants. He's a great standard control coach. Epic almost. So that's where the focus is. That's where they are. We can talk about where they are, which is one of the top 16 teams in the country. That's where they stop. That's where the GPS sits. Where's Nebraska basketball? At season's end, last we saw, they are one of the top 16 programs in the country. And then whatever's next, it'll recalibrate based on where you were and where they think you're going.
It doesn't have to be Miles versus Hoiberg either.
No.
Because Tim Miles was a step up from Doc Sadler. Let's be honest about that, is that Tim Miles was better than Doc Sadler. I do want to do just a little comparison just to see how funny some of this is. Yes, Fred Hoiberg needs to be better in the Big Ten tournament. Yes, the loss in the semis against Illinois, not a great one. Yeah, you would have liked Nebraska to have a better showing against Purdue in this year's Big Ten tournament. Guess what? Didn't ultimately end up mattering for Nebraska really in either case, even if it would be nice to add that onto the resume. But how about this? Tim Miles' record through 7 years is better than Fred Hoiberg's. DP, Tim Miles coached 230 games at Nebraska through 7 years. Fred Hoiberg has coached 227. Guess how many games separate Fred Hoiberg's record in 7 years at Nebraska from Tim Miles' record?
What's the
Nebraska?
number?
So Tim Miles coached, let's do number of wins. Tim Miles coached 3 more games in 7 years than Fred Hoiberg at Nebraska. How many more wins does Tim Miles have as a Nebraska head coach than Fred Hoiberg?
7?
How about 4?
4. Okay.
Now, how many fewer losses Tim Miles has than Fred Hoiberg?
4.
1.
Wow.
He is literally 3.5 games better than Fred Hoiberg in terms of overall record. Tim Miles 116 and 114. Fred Hoiberg 112 and 115 with 3 postseason appearances compared to 2, with 2 NCAA tournament wins compared to 0, with 1 other invitational tournament postseason crown to 0. Fred Hoiberg has scheduled. Fred Hoiberg won an MTE, a couple of them, one in Hawaii and one down in Kansas City. So, yeah, Tim Miles had a better record through 7 years than Fred Hoiberg does. Yeah, Tim Miles never bottomed out, but so many of those Tim Miles teams were forgettable by December.
What's the phrase about comparison?
Something about being the thief of joy.
Yeah, you just can't be present enough to go, here's where we are. Here's where we are and how we got here. Like, okay. Look, I'm not, and listen, it really isn't my place to tell Nebraska fans who've been a part of these programs forever how to process and how to feel. I'm just saying you don't get to make me do it. Like, I'm here. I sat through a ton of really bad Nebraska basketball. Right? That was my invoice to being a part of this thing. What I currently see is enough to say this is an NCAA basketball program. They know the path. They know the way. You can say the same about women's basketball, right? And before we spend time comparing Amy Williams to Connie Uri, like, we have to, like, what are we doing? Like, why would you do that? Right? The separation and the change of path, necessary, required, okay, it's done. It falls in line. When was the last time you can recall me in comparing Matt Rule to the previous head coach at Nebraska? When was the last time you heard me do that? You can't. You
Been
really
a minute,
can't. Yeah,
if ever.
Yeah, you can't. Matt Rule's Matt Rule.
And should be judged as such.
Nebraska football is Nebraska football, as it is currently. Now, we don't know. They have not unveiled the next version of Nebraska football, which is why I say when you get into the prognostication and guessing and prediction and all that, it's just you on a seesaw by yourself. Like you're just in public seesawing, hoping somebody jumps on.
To be fair, that's enough for my 2-year-old, but
right. But I'm a grown up, bro. Like I can't be out here doing that nonsense. That here's the thing. I can say what I know about Nebraska football, which was the last couple of times, the evidence said the last couple of times I saw this program, there were some things to fix. And I don't know if they fixed them. I'm not sure they know if they fixed them. I'm not sure they've said what was wrong.
As long as they know what's wrong, I don't care if they say it or not.
Well, no. They need to say it.
Okay.
If they're asking you to buy tickets for the next version of them, they need to say it. You asking for money, you asking me to show up and support you, but you're not telling me what's going on. That's like me being an investor and not checking at the construction site. No, I'm gonna peek, man. I need to see blueprint. I need to see something.
Would you say Nebraska told fans the offensive line was wrong by getting a new line coach and 3 linemen out of the portal? Is
that what they said?
Do you think that was them saying?
I don't know what whatever they communication. Clarity matters. Clarity matters. Tell me what's going on. Tell me, is it good or bad? Like, are you proud of it? And that matters. You can tell me you love this football team. You love the guys that came back. You love how hard they're working. You tell me all that. Tell me that. And then I can support you. If you don't want my support, you don't have to tell me anything. You don't have to tell me anything. But if you want me connected, if you want me to care, you tell me. Right? Or you show me.
How about that for
right?
example?
Or you show me, you give me evidence. You give me evidence that me as a fan, that I matter, that you as a fan, Austin Norman, we care so much about you as a fan. We want you to know what we're doing and how it's going. And it's okay if you choose not to, but then that's where indifference and silence happen. And that's never good for a program. Fair?
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Let's go to break. Wrap up Old School next on The Ticket.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Guys, if you're dealing with low back pain or trouble urinating, don't just live with it. These could be signs of treatable conditions. At Advanced Medical Imaging, their interventional radiologists specialize in minimally invasive procedures designed to relieve symptoms and improve your quality of life without major surgery. June is Men's Health Month. Take the step. Call Advanced Medical Imaging today to schedule a consult and find out what AMI can do for you.
Time for a new AC? Call Bryant. Get rebates now and lower operating costs every day. For comfort and efficiency, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Transform your watch party into a full fan experience. Benny's Battle Barge from Arbor Axe House is the mobile axe throwing trailer designed for fans who want more than just to watch from the sidelines. Step into a lane and go head-to-head while the game plays on screen. It's safe, fun, and perfect for groups who take their sports and their competition seriously. Upgrade your fan headquarters today. Charter the barge at arbораxe.com or call 402-802-9696. Arbor Axe House at the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans, begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
You started your business to build something special. Now it's time to grow and protect it. At Pinnacle Bank, our treasury management services help you do just that. Through smarter payment technology, account administration, and fraud protection. So no matter the size of your business, you can get the most out of your financial operations. Request your free consultation at pinbank.com/consult. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: a slight chance of showers and storms this afternoon. Otherwise, we'll see partly sunny skies and light winds with a high near 89. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, low around 70. And tomorrow, we'll see partly sunny skies, be hot, an afternoon high near 96. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, Nebraska sports fans. This summer, professional tennis returns to Lincoln. Watch rising stars of the ATP Tour compete for over $100,000 in prize money for the 2026 Lincoln Challenger from July 12th to the 19th at the Sid and Hazel Dillon Tennis Center. Witness top tennis pros compete right here in Lincoln and experience tennis close-up like never before. To purchase tickets or to sign up for volunteer opportunities, please visit www.lincolnchallenger.com. Not just a stop, a stage. Lincoln Challenger 2026.
When something breaks, you want someone you can trust to fix it right. Empire Repair is now open in Waverly and ready to serve our community with reliable auto repair and maintenance. From routine service to bigger repairs, our team is here to keep you on the road. Stop by Empire Repair in Waverly or call 402-786-2224 to schedule your service today. Empire Repair, proud to serve Waverly.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in one final time to Old School here on a Monday. Appreciate everyone who's made it a great first show back. DP hanging out these last couple hours. The Black Shirt, Terrell Farley, Brian Munson, and all of you on our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. Let's head there right now. Mark says, I agree everyone needs to get better, but the X factor in basketball seems to be chemistry. And I've been so impressed with how Fred Hoiberg develops his team for skill and chemistry, making, here's that word, DP, the program grow. And that to me is the biggest source, I think, for Husker fans of pride, is that making the NCAA tournament wasn't a one-off. And it doesn't feel like a one-off. It feels real. It feels sustainable. The year that, and not to go back to this boat, but here we go, Tim Miles made the NCAA tournament. They got hot at the right time. And then probably should have made it a few years later, but it was 3-4 years between NCAA tournament caliber teams. I think Fred Hoiberg has the secret sauce right now. Will teams adapt to it? Will teams catch up? Maybe, maybe not. But as soon as you've adapted once, I think you can adapt again. And I feel like Nebraska basketball is in as good a hands as it's been in for a while.
Yeah, again, we can pay respect to struggle and friction and all those things, the things that went wrong, right? You can spend your time on, the one bad meal you make rather than the other 13 good ones you made this week. You made one bad meal and you focus on that. You did part of human nature. But again, what I said was I believe in Nate Linder as the directional leader, the emotional directional leader when it comes to human nature and the things that they do on a regular basis, the ability to get people to be present in their work. Put in the hard work, put in the hard work. When it gets hard, put in the hard work. When it gets harder, put in the hard work. When it's easy, put in the hard work, because that's where cultures happen. That's where teams become programs. That's why winning becomes consistency. And you need somebody that's willing to do that, and it can't just be Fred Hoiberg.
Mm-hmm.
It can't. It has to be. You also have the help of having, a 5th year, 6th year senior to tell people and whisper, "Hey, you should be working right now."
Mm-hmm. Well, that 5th year, 6th year senior was the guy that was working himself as well.
Right. Well, that's required.
Yeah.
And people talk about chemistry. Well, no, some of those pieces were together when things weren't well, but they also learned from when it wasn't going well. And I would think Coach Hoiberg has learned, Linzer has learned. There's a bunch of folks around that. Frager has learned what works and what doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Sanford knows what works and doesn't work. And then you have a collection of people. Cale Jacobson, the guy that averaged 30 in high school, could tell you what was working then, what works now, and what he needs to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Let it happen. Yeah. Let it happen. We'll see we don't know what the chemistry is going to be until we see it.
Right.
And you can have the best ingredients, but can you cook it at the right temperature, right time so that it comes out a masterpiece? We don't know.
We
just don't know.
And you can't.
Nope.
And we're going to see a couple interesting experiments in cooking with Nebraska basketball, obviously, and a couple fascinating opponents. Obviously, the Boise State game up at the Pentagon will be a fun one. I'm excited, though, DP. Early in the year, Nebraska is going to go out to a Mohegan Sun Arena out there in Connecticut and take on Providence. Brian Hodgson, longtime Alabama assistant, good-looking transfer class. How does it come together, especially early in the year? And then a game that I was thrilled to see pop up across the timeline, Nebraska and Missouri down in Kansas City. I think that's going to be a blast. Missouri has a really highly rated recruiting class, some good transfers coming in as well, off an NCAA tournament team from last year. But again, what's the chemistry? What's the fit? It's early in the season. I think those are some pretty fantastic matchups. And again, signs of growth in the program. Nebraska wasn't scheduling these games 5 years ago. I love that they're to the point they feel they can and they need to now. I love it.
Well, that's the brand. The brand puts you in places, gets you invited to parties you weren't invited to.
Yeah.
It's there. There has to be evidence that you belong.
Mm-hmm.
And that when other people think of hey, we need a good opponent with a good fan base and some financial support behind it and quality of play. Like, I don't want to get them out here and kick their heads in. I wanted to be competitive. I wanted to help me later in the season when I get ranked and measured that I beat a really good Nebraska team, or I got beat by a really Nebraska team, and it's not fatal.
Yeah.
Will I learn lessons? Is there a style of play that maybe we'll see in the postseason that we can see early? And it makes everybody more coachable when you play against better players early.
Elsewhere in the world of basketball, DP, I know you're not a predictions guy. Does your gut have a lean one way or the other with the Knicks coming back home with a 2-0 lead in the finals? Knicks go up 3-0, Spurs get back in the series.
Well, LeBron got swept in his first playoff. Jordan got swept in his first playoff. It happens. The best players get swept. I think they get swept. I think Wemby has to get swept in order to learn.
Okay. There you have it. DP, appreciate you sitting in.
Thank you. Kind sir.
I will be back here on the other side of this break. Royals recap. Myself and Nick Wyman will take you through the week that was for the Royals. A 500 road trip, but a 5-2 week. We'll talk about that, some injuries or some nagging stuff popping up for the Royals. How big a deal are all of those to certain players? The Royals buying, selling, standing still with some interest in their players being rumored. We'll talk about all that and more coming up on the Royals recap. But for now, this has been Old School, brought to you by Graham Tire Company with 4 Lincoln locations. Check them out. Let them know Old School sent you, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
At LES, safety always comes first for you and their employees. This